This scene opens on a building called Marlsfrog. A bell jingles as the door opens. A warrior in heavy armor steps inside. He walks into a bar with a large screen. He carries a massive sword on his back. This bartender greets him. "Brother Chiao, how are today's spoils?" Chiao says he just took some newbies through a dungeon. "They're whatever? I brought a bunch of newbies to raid a rank 2 dungeon." He takes a drink and asks if it has started yet. This bartender confirms it has. On the screen, a trial is about to begin. This votes have been tallied by the congressman. A man at the podium announces the results. 325 votes in favor, 0 votes against, and 0 abstained. Damn. The motion to expel someone named Mask is approved. This chairman of Congress, Yahello, lists the charges. Code name, Mask. Strong evidence suggests that you once committed many massacres during the war. He continues listing offenses against Mask. This sentence is death, but Yahello says they will be lenient. Congress has decided to merely remove you from the positions of Supreme Leader of the Union and Supreme Commander of the Union. He adds that Mask will keep his special grade hero title, but as the sole hero of that rank, in the event of any wars, you must immediately return to the battlefield and join the military forces. Back in the bar, everyone watches the broadcast. One man defends Mask's past actions. Humanity could have been decimated before the other heroes could finally appear later on, but another guy scoffs at that. Yeah, can the winds of history quickly blow this trash away? This first man gets angry. Despite that, Mask still stepped up and eventually turned the tides of the battle. This second guy argues Mask was paranoid. He even thought that some of the heroes of the Union had already been corrupted. He smirks. I think he either went crazy or just wants to return to the days when he possessed all the power. Man, what a betrayal. This man at the bar sighs. He says it is not that simple. A blonde official addresses the man on the throne. Mask, you may now leave with honor as a special grade hero. This man on the throne is Mask. He's told this is merciful considering his crimes. A close-up on Mask's cold blue eye. This blonde official stands alone at a podium on a large stage. Mask's eyes are filled with a quiet rage. This audience is full of men in black suits. They look smug. What is happening? Mask wonders from his throne, remembering the fatal attack. He realizes this is the place, the trial where his comrades betrayed him. He looks at his own hands in disbelief. A system window appears before him. The main quest is complete. He must choose a new path. His eyes widen. He thinks, I can't believe I really regressed. He is literally at a crossroads in history once again. A small smile plays on his lips. He says, this time, I choose. He looks up with a grin. The path of a monster. This blonde official asks if his silence is dissatisfaction. He admits Mask is an unparalleled hero. He says the Union has already exiled him socially, turning a hero into a burden, and this trial is where they will banish him physically from today onwards. He will become a harmless statue. This audience dares him to object. It will only prove their point. Mask looks up from his chair, he says, I have an objection. A sudden tension fills the entire hall. This blonde official just smirks. He says, great. Elsewhere, 2 men watch the broadcast from a bar. One knew he would not give up his power. A man in a bar rants about generals built on sacrifice on the screen. Mask announces he is giving up his hero title. This entire bar goes silent. A hand slams down on a podium. A blonde man in a suit is furious. He asks what Mask just said. Mask stands under the spotlight. I said I relinquish my special grade hero title. He places a hand on his chest. I'm already tired of being a hero. This blonde man yells into a microphone. Mask, are you being defiant to express your dissatisfaction with the Congress's decision right now? Mask turns his back to the audience. He asks, dissatisfied. He looks over his shoulder. No, I'm perfectly satisfied. The only thing I feel is an unprecedented sense of ease. Damn, he actually did it. This congressman panics. He thinks Mask should just be a quiet supporter of humanity. He accuses Mask of using tyranny to deal with the Union. This man yells that Mask cannot just leave. Mask asks if there is anything else. As Mask walks away, the congressman continues speaking. He says, if Mask gives up his title, he should give up his strength too. Back in the bar, a man asks what the chairman means. His friend explains. He wants to strip Mask of all his power. A couple nearby wonders what level Mask even is. A scarred man at the bar explains, Mask is level 13. He's higher than the second-placed congressman Yahello by a whole 4 levels. He says he doubts anyone will ever reach that level again. This congressman claims Mask's strength is a debt to the Union. He says Mask can leave, but only after he does one thing. He slams his fist down. Give up all of your strength. A powerful blue aura surrounds Mask. He repeats the question. This congressman just sweats. He is speechless. This congressman are sweating bullets under the pressure. Back in the bar, everyone watches in stunned silence. Mask just smirks and says fine. He raises a hand. I'll give it up. A massive orb of pure energy forms above him. This congressman are absolutely terrified. This power is just immense. He holds the entire weight of his strength in one hand. This sheer force of it pushes everyone to the ground. One man can barely gasp for help. Even the chairman struggles to stay upright, he thinks. So strong. Yahello pushes back with all his might. For me? A level 9 hero to have to exhaust all my power? Just to resist the urge to kneel before him. Man, that's a power gap. Mask looks down on them all. Since you guys want it, I'll return it. He unleashes the energy straight up through the roof. Outside, people see the beam and wonder what it is. Others panic, thinking a monster is attacking. This beam pierces the heavens, creating a storm. This energy ripples outwards. Inside the hall, everyone is knocked unconscious from the blast. This beam of light shines down through the hole in the ceiling. It is a pillar of pure power. Mask stands alone in the wreckage, holding the last of his energy. This chairman pants. It actually continued for 10 over minutes before he finished dispelling his power. He grins. The current him has really become an ordinary person. Jeez, they actually did it. This congressman grins. Since he's an ordinary person, there's nothing to be afraid of anymore. Mask just stands there as his aura fades away. He turns his back and walks toward the exit. This congressman tells him to go on and leave. Mask reaches up to his face. He takes off his signature mask and tosses it aside. This congressman sneers. Once you leave this place, your death is imminent. Our boy keeps walking as the floor beneath him glows red. This doorway erupts in a blast of energy. A trap. But Mask is gone. The congressman is stunned. Aishi vanished. How's that possible? Hatching nest of the mother spider. A title card announces over the dark and icy cave. A glowing blue portal stands at the end of it. A heavy boot steps through. A voice calls out, "Attention everyone." A team of 4 adventurers steps out. Their leader explains the mission, a level 3 secret realm. He asks his squad if anyone is scared of spiders. A woman tells her friend not to be afraid. The friend insists she is not. This other 2 members are eager to start. They need cash. One of them mentions Mask's trial. He is bummed he could not see it live. A woman points out this realm is only available because everyone else is watching the trial. This captain tells them to cut the chatter. He rallies them to clear the dungeon quickly. They all cheer, but then the portal behind them flares up again. This team turns around. The captain asks if someone is coming. A sneaker steps out of the portal, and yeah, we know who that is. A young woman in the party looks on in surprise. Mask appears in a flash of blue light inside a dungeon. 2 other adventurers mock him. What's wrong with this guy? To dare enter the secret realm without any equipment. Mask looks around calmly. He thinks to himself, I've forgotten what the lower-level secret realm was like. He smiles. He remembers coming here when he first awakened. He recalls a much deadlier realm, a place where even monsters were afraid. A system window appears. His power is gone. He is level 1. He looks over his new status. He knows this choice is a gamble, but the hero's path already failed. He smirks. Becoming a cold-blooded monster is something to look forward to. A muscular man from the party approaches him. Hey, little brother. Are you here to raid the secret realm? He asks Mask where his weapon is. Mask just holds up his fist. This is my weapon. This man laughs and puts a hand on his shoulder. So you're a martial artist? Martial artists are really saving money on equipment by using your body as a weapon. He asks what level Mask is. He is worried he might have to share the loot. This entire party is stunned when Mask answers. Level 1. This man asks if he is joking. He sneers. Coming here as a level 1 professional? Are you planning to die? Mask calmly removes the man's hand from his shoulder. He says, I'm here to crush the monster. This man scoffs. He says Mask is weaker than their healers and should just wait at the entrance. He turns away. Since you're looking for death, then I won't stop you. He looks back with a grin. Don't expect us to help you. Jeez, that's cold. This party walks deeper into the cave, leaving Mask to watch them go. A young woman in the party looks back with a worried expression. Up ahead, the cave glows with the fire of battle. One of the women hurls a massive fireball forward. It slams into a spider monster, engulfing it in flames. An archer draws his bow, warning the captain to watch his back. His arrow zips past the captain's head, nailing a monster that was about to ambush him. This captain gives a quick thanks over his shoulder. This other 2 melee fighters dive into a swarm of monsters, yelling for them to die. Mask just stands back, watching the team work. This young woman from before walks up to him. She asks, Captain Song's attitude was very unfriendly. Right. She tells him not to worry. The captain means well, but newcomers can easily make mistakes. She warns him that if he is not careful, he will die. Mask thinks to himself. He notes that professionals are much more cautious these days, a lesson learned with blood and tears. She finds it odd. He is young but talks like the upper class from the Commonwealth. She agrees with him though. She says, since Hero Mask's policies, the death rate for low-level professionals has dropped significantly. She suddenly remembers her manners. Aish? Speaking of which, I forgot to introduce myself. She introduces herself. My name is Yan Qianqian, and I'm a level 2 healer. She offers her hand, and Mask shakes it. He introduces himself as Xiao Chu, a level 1 professional who has not chosen a career path. Yan Qianqian is shocked. She asks if he really has not selected one. He says he is still thinking about it. He thinks to himself that he created all the professional paths himself. Damn, the irony. She gives him some friendly advice, suggesting he try being a spellcaster since he does not look like a close-range fighter. Her eyes are filled with genuine concern. She apologizes for being too talkative suddenly. A sharp spider leg shoots towards them. This woman is startled as Mask suddenly grabs her arm. A flash of purple energy slices through the cave. Mask yanks her out of the way just as a sharp leg slams into the ground. This archer from the party yells out,
"It's a shadow spider!"
A massive purple spider monster looms over Mask and the woman he just saved. This spider's bladed leg shoots forward to attack, but Mask catches the razor-sharp limb with his bare hand. He crushes the point of the leg in his grip. He stands protectively in front of the woman, holding the spider's own leg as a weapon. He swings the makeshift club with incredible speed, and he smashes it right into the monster's face. This spider's head cracks and splatters from the force of the blow. This monster lies dead on the ground. The woman places a hand on Mask's back. This rest of the party is just stunned. The archer stammers. Is this the path of a martial artist? This is too much. This muscular guy shakes his head. No, I've seen professional martial artists too, and even they can't do this. He explains what he saw. He just crushed the spider's most vulnerable joint and then thrust it into the eyeball, all in a short moment. He relied entirely on skill to fight a higher-level monster. Mask looks down at the woman still clinging to him. There is no more danger. Can you let go now? He smirks. I'm about to be strangled by you, she blushes. She lets go immediately and covers her face. Ah, I'm sorry. A system window pops up for Mask. He got 500 experience points. He realizes he can still level up by killing monsters. With his past experience, he knows he can grow even faster this time. This party leader approaches.
"You dared to challenge the secret realm alone. Little brother really is extraordinary. It is I who have misjudged you."
He puts a hand on Mask's shoulder. Thank you for saving Yanxian. When the mission is over, you will have your share of the reward. Mask says it is just a gesture. It is right to help each other in the secret realm. This party leader sweats. He thinks this brat is doing it on purpose. A massive slash of energy cuts through the air. This leader swings his huge sword, carving through the monsters. This party stands among the corpses of giant spiders. This leader looks ahead. Up ahead should be the boss. He tells the team the plan is the same. He will take aggro while they deal damage. This woman in white agrees to use her fire technique on the spider silk. This archer stretches. He predicts that the hypocrite Mask must have been found guilty. This woman says she heard a rumor that Mask is a woman. She admits she used to be a supporter, until he massacred everyone in the city of Tuga. A young woman steps forward. She tells them there is no need to say it like that. She explains an infectious demon was turning people into monsters. Mask only did it as a last resort. This spear wielder scoffs. You're still taking his side till now. You're not those paid actors on the internet, right? This leader holds up his hands. Enough. That's the end of this topic. He glances back at Mask. Because of this kind of argument, do you guys want to make a comedy for little brother? Man, they really have no idea. This party moves on. It is time to challenge the boss. They enter a part of the cave covered in thick webs. A boot crunches down on the sticky floor. This spear wielder says this place definitely feels like a boss room. This archer is more interested in the treasure chest the boss is guarding. Suddenly, 4 massive spider legs tear through the webs. This leader shouts, "It's coming!" A monstrous spider with glowing orange veins drops from the ceiling. This leader charges forward. I'm taking aggro. All of you deal damage. This leader meets the spider's attack with his own massive sword. This spear wielder leaps onto the monster's back, stabbing it. He unleashes a rapid flurry of strikes with his spear. Xiaochu watches calmly from the side. The monsters in this low-level secret realm have almost no intelligence. He clenches his fist. With the right match, he shatters a spider leg with a single punch. It can quickly be resolved. This woman in white and the archer combine their attacks. A flaming arrow explodes against the boss's tough hide. Yan Qianqian casts a binding spell on one of its legs. This spider roars as it is engulfed in another blast of fire. This team stands over the dead boss. The leader laughs. Haha! See, as long as we cooperate properly, we can completely raid the level 3 secret realm without any injuries. He turns to the party. I'll distribute the final rewards according to the same proportion as before. Oh, and we can't forget about little brother Xiao. But Xiao Chu is thinking, a level 3 secret realm. But the system clearly indicated that this is a level 4 secret realm. This spear wielder looks around. Captain, the secret treasure chest didn't appear. This woman in white senses something in the darkness. There seems to be something up ahead. A bare foot steps out of the shadows. A headless body in a school uniform appears. The spear wielder asks, a girl. This woman in white stares in shock. Her head, an old astronaut helmet, sits where her head should be. Man, that is creepy. This leader's face is grim. It seems that the secret treasure chest did not appear until now, because this strange girl stands before them. She is the secret realm's boss. The spear wielder scoffs. She is the secret realm's boss. It's not even scary. Even that big guy pressure is more oppressive. 2 pink eyes glow from inside the dark helmet. This boss stumbles forward, almost clumsily. Then she lunges forward with terrifying speed. This spear wielder faces off against a strange monster in a helmet. He charges forward, spear at the ready. This archer scoffs. Idiot, such a direct attack will surely be avoided. This spear slams right through the monster's chest. He shoves the weapon all the way through its body. Xiao Chu and the others watch from the back. This spear wielder smirks. Isn't this easy to deal with? He prepares to finish it. Now die. But the wound on the monster's back starts to glow. Purple webs suddenly shoot out from the hole. This spear wielder is stunned. How come? This webs wrap around his arms and spear. Hold on! He screams as the energy webs tighten. This archer yells out his name. Lo QI! This leader shouts an order. Such thick spider silk cannot be cut off by physical attack. Mage use a flame attack. This woman in white steps forward, her hand glowing. A stream of fiery runes flows from her palm. This flames engulf the monster and the webs. This leader yells at the archer. Quickly save him, don't let him get caught in the flames. This archer just stares at the inferno. A massive pillar of fire rages in the cave. This monster's legs are visible inside the blaze. Lao Chi is trapped in the fire too, his face a mask of terror. Damn. This monster emerges from the flames, now with multiple spider-like legs. This leader is shocked. I've never seen a boss like this. This spear wielder screams, caught in webs as a new monster appears behind him. It's a girl in a school uniform with multiple legs. She kicks him with blinding speed. Her leg pierces straight through his chest. She stands over his body. Another fighter down. This archer is enraged. LOQI, UBT, CHL. Kill you? But a hand stops him. Don't act rashly. It is Xiao Chu, he says. With the power shown by that monster just now, even if you go, you will not end up any better than that lancer on the ground. This captain agrees. What he says is right. There is absolutely no chance of victory in a rash attack. He asks how long until the portal opens. The woman says 3 hours. This captain makes a new plan. Then we can only fight while retreating. We'll slowly make our way to the entrance and on once the portal opens. We'll immediately escape. But the schoolgirl monster is not going to let them go. It shoots a massive volley of webs from its stomach. This archer fires back, yelling for the captain. But his arrows do nothing to stop the attack. This webs ensnare both him and the captain. This archer is yanked off his feet, pulled toward the monster. Its stomach opens up into a horrifying maw of spikes. Blood splatters across the cave. Yan Chan covers her eyes, unable to watch. This archer is impaled through the chest. His body drops to the cave floor. Jeez. This is a massacre. This monster immediately turns on the captain, swinging a flaming limb. He barely manages to block the blow with his gauntlet. This captain stares in disbelief. I am possible? This captain cannot believe it? His full-strength attack did absolutely nothing. He struggles as the webs pull his arm toward the monster. This monster's chest opens into a horrifying maw. He thinks it is over. He desperately yells for someone to give him the sword. Xiao Chu appears. The only way to live now is to cut off your arm. If you want to live, give me the sword. This captain stares in horror, a bead of sweat on his face. He grits his teeth, making a terrible choice. He throws his massive sword toward Xiao Chu. Xiao Chu catches the blade with ease. He plants his foot firmly on the ground. He raises the huge sword over his head. He brings the blade down in a single, swift motion. This captain's arm is severed. Blood flying everywhere. Damn, he actually did it. This captain lets out a silent scream of agony. This monster stands over the captain's fallen body. Xiao Chu helps the one-armed captain to his feet. Yan Xian rushes over, her hands glowing with healing magic. This woman in white panics. I don't want to, she screams. I don't want to die in a place like this. She turns and runs for her life. Yan Xian asks Xiao Chu why he is not running too. He says, run! You can't run away. She let her go on purpose. Because the fear released when a human runs can make a more satisfying meal for her. He explains that these God-chosen beasts feed on negative emotions. Yan Shan is confused by the term God-chosen. Xiao Chu says they are monsters chosen by outer gods of the void, blessed with terrifying power. A wave of purple energy explodes from the monster. Yan Shan looks alarmed. She says, oh no. She quickly casts a poison-repelling spell, but the woman in white is engulfed by the purple mist. Her eyes turn white as she loses consciousness. Yan Chan realizes what is happening. This isn't poison gas. It's spiritual for sure. This schoolgirl monster floats in the center of the overwhelming aura. Its red eyes glow from inside the helmet. You're confused because I didn't fall down like other foods, but although the current me has no power, my spirit and soul are still level 14, he says. He smirks at the monster. Isn't your spiritual for sure a lot weaker? He begins to float off the ground just a moment ago. A system window appears. Monster status enabled. He says, I acquired a brand new ability. His body begins to transform. He thanks the monster for taking out the others, so he can finally get serious. He completes his transformation into a demonic knight. You should feel proud. Damn, he actually did it. This schoolgirl monster seems to recoil in shock. Xiao Chu crouches low, ready to pounce. His glowing red eyes narrow. He launches himself forward in a devastating blur. This monster is thrown back by the sheer force of his attack. It tumbles through the air, unable to react. A massive gash is torn across its body. This attack connects cleanly with the monster. Xiao Chu stands behind it, his arm a massive blade. This monster is sliced open, purple energy erupting from the wound. Xiao Chu in his demon form comments. Other than being long, it really is a good leg. This helmeted boss unleashes a massive web attack, but the webs just explode against an unseen force. Xiaochu stands there untouched. He taunts her. Do you only have such a simple move? As a god chosen, you are a complete allure. He continues his monologue, saying she is just a level 4 god chosen. He closes in. But I won't let you live. Till that moment. He dashes forward in a blur of dark energy. He unleashes a vicious flurry of slashes on the boss. This assault is relentless, completely overwhelming her. She is sent flying, her body torn apart by the strikes. Xiaochu holds one of her severed legs. Well, there's only one last left, so let's hurry up. This boss looks up, a gaping hole in her stomach, as a new attack forms. She is caught in a web of energy. He swings her around like a rag doll and slams her hard into the ground. She lies broken on the cave floor. She reaches out a hand as his foot hovers over her helmet. He looms over her. When you were playing with humans, you didn't think it would be your turn so soon, did you? He gives his final command. Die, and he stomps down, crushing her completely. Geez, total domination. A system message appears. The level 4 secret realm raid is complete. This mission reward is issued. A spider's foot. This system announces that survivors will be automatically transported out. This scene shifts to a bright city street. Yan Qianqian walks through the crowd. She thinks it has been 2 hours, and the whole thing felt like a dream. She thinks about what happened after the raid. The captain was rushed to the hospital, but she worries about Xiaochu. He was nowhere to be seen. She wonders if he is dead. She stops suddenly on the street, and there he is. She calls out his name, Xiaochu. This scene shifts to a bright sunny day in the city. Xiaochu thinks to himself, the system sent him to Dahe City and he needs to find a place to live. He looks at a board with rental prices. A 1-room unit costs 3,000 a month. Man, that's rough. He reflects on his past life. He never had to worry about money while fighting monsters. He realizes he has no concept of how to live in human society. Just then, a girl calls his name. Xiaochu turns his head. He recognizes her. You're that healer from the secret realm. She puffs out her cheeks. Clearly annoyed at being called that healer, she introduces herself properly. My name is Yan Sik, the HE that has 3 strokes on top. You better remember this time. But her anger fades quickly. She smiles and says it is great that he is okay. She asks if he is looking for a place to stay and if he has any friends or family here. He says no. She gets an idea. She explains that Dahe City was established only 40 years ago. She leads him through the streets, explaining how the old part of the city became an urban village. She stops walking and presents her home. This is my house. She offers him a place to stay. Don't worry, there is a separate room for you to live and so you don't have to worry about any inconvenience. Xiaochu notices a medal on the wall. She says it is her father's retirement medal. She explains her father is a hero, a level 5 melee professional who fought in many famous battles. She gets super excited, saying her dad even fought alongside the legendary Mask. She then admits he has been telling that story for years, and she is not sure if it is true. A young woman with black hair dismisses something she was told, thinking it was just drunken words. Yan Qianshan asks Xiaochu where her dad is. He simply says he is gone. A hand touches a military emblem. Her father suffered in the Long War and passed away after he was discharged. She then asks about her mother, who apparently died giving birth to her sister. Xiaochu listens quietly, taking it all in. This woman puts on a brave face, saying it was a long time ago and she is living well now. She tells him to come inside. She walks ahead. Give me a moment. I'll get you a quilt, but clothing like underwear or pajamas. You'll have to get your own. She points to an empty room in the left wing where he can stay. Xiaochu thinks this is a lot better than the front lines and he will pay her back. Suddenly, the sound of a wheelchair is heard. A girl in a wheelchair rolls into view, asking who this is. Yan Qianshan introduces Xiaochu to her sister, Qianlu. But Qianlu is immediately suspicious. She sarcastically comments on her sister's kindness for bringing a total stranger home. And with that, she turns and wheels herself back into the house. Damn, that's cold. Yan Qianshan apologizes for her sister's behavior. She explains that today is the Judgment Day of Mask, a hero Qianlu has worshipped since she was a child. Xiaochu looks on. I didn't expect to have that many fans. Wait a minute, he's Mask. In her room, Qianlu sits at her computer. What bullshit, she sees. She calls them fools and starts typing furiously. Her sister calls from outside the door, telling her it is time to eat. Qianlu yells that she is busy, but her sister reminds her they have a guest. She scoffs. How is he a guest? Does he think he's Mask and needs me to welcome him? Geez, the irony is just painful. Yan Qianqian stands by a door and agrees. She sits down to eat with Xiaochu. ITLL only be the 2 of us today. I apologies. The dishes are somewhat simple, but a noise from outside makes her run to the door. She pushes the doors open. A group of men in suits are waiting, finally willing to come out. Huh! Mess Yan, it's really not easy to see you. She stands her ground. Mr. Zai, Mr. Tujing, my attitude has been very clear. I will not sell this house. This leader smirks. MS Yan, do you really not understand the situation? Your team seems to have disbanded today. Right. She asks how they know. He says his company has connections with the government. He leans in menacingly. Now that you have nothing to rely on, what else can you do to resist? Yan Qianqian is left speechless. He gives her an ultimatum. 5 days. I'll give you sisters another 5 more days to consider. He offers her $100,000 for the land. She is shocked. 100,000. Wasn't it 3 million before? Why did it become 100,000? He laughs it off, saying the real estate market is volatile. He brings up her sister's illness, knowing she has less than $30,000 left. Geez, that's cold. He then notices Xiao Chu standing behind her. He assumes Xiao Chu is her boyfriend. He extends his hand for a handshake. He introduces himself. I'm Tujing Kenzo, the chief of the security department of Kaijiang Investment Company. I would like to ask for your guidance in the future. Xiao Chu reaches out to shake his hand. Yanqian yells out a warning. Watch out. Tujing is a mage specializing in mental attacks. Their hands meet. Tujing grins, thinking he has him. But Xiao Chu just stares back, completely unfazed. This mage launches his mental attack. Hey, when I enter his mental world, his mind will break completely. Tujing laughs. I've been in a good mood recently, so I'll just give him a concussion and make him lie down for half a month. But something is wrong. He wonders what is going on. His eyes widen in sudden realization. He finds himself floating over a vast dark ocean. This is his mental world. He immediately tries to escape, saying he needs to leave now, but his face is filled with pure dread. A massive tsunami of mental energy crashes down on him. He is completely overwhelmed and dragged under. He panics, realizing he is trapped in Xiao Chu's mental powers. This sheer terror is written all over his face. Monster, he screams in absolute terror. Back in reality, Tujing has collapsed. His colleague shakes him. Tujing! Oi, Tujing! Yan Shishi is confused, wondering what is going on. This other goon grabs Xiao Chu. You bastard! You did this! What did you do to Tujing? But the leader grabs his arm, stopping him. He tells him to use his brain. Tujing became like this after going against him. Are you saying you're stronger than Tujing? He realizes Xiao Chu is not just a level 2, but maybe even a level 3. He turns to Yan Shishi. I didn't expect you to be able to find such a strong backer, but you better not think that everything is over. He glares. If you dare to attack our people, it will not end so easily. Yan Shishi turns to Xiao Chu completely stunned. You made Tujing faint? Xiao Chu calmly replies. It was him who asked for it. I didn't intend to take action at all. It was that guy who insisted on entering my mental world. He asks how long they have been harassing her. She explains it started 4 years ago after her father died. She says they even tried to break in and threatened her sister. Fortunately, after she joined Captain Song's team, they backed off. Yan Chanchan worries. To think they would immediately come after Captain Song just had an accident. Xiao Chu asks about the government. He says families of soldiers should get preferential treatment. He even promoted that policy himself. She scoffs at the idea. Preferential treatment. If the so-called preferential treatment really worked, would they still be here? She says the government favors the wealthy company over them. Man, that's just cynical. Xiao Chu just listens. Is that so? Later, Xiao Chu is washing dishes. She tells him he does not have to do that. He says it is only right to repay her kindness. I lived in your house and ate your food, so it's only right for me to help with the dishes. She thanks him for driving those men away. If you hadn't driven those people away today, I really don't know what I would have done. She asks about his future plans. He says he will keep raiding and asks about her. She hopes her captain wakes up soon. Otherwise, she will have to find a new party. She explains that teams in secret realms are competitive. Sometimes they even backstab each other. He thinks about the law Mask made, no killing humans in secret realms. But who is there to enforce it? She promises to recommend a good party to him. Shaw QIU, if I can find a reallable party, I'll definitely recommend them to you. He just says, okay. He thinks he was always meant to be a monster and that no one will ever be able to fight by his side. Damn, that's a lonely road. Suddenly, he looks up, alerted by something. A system window appears with a new solo task, a level 4 secret realm. A bolt of blue energy appears in a dark cathedral. It expands into a swirling portal, and Xiao Chu steps through, looking determined. He is grateful for the system's teleportation gate. It lets him enter dungeons at will. He observes the Gothic architecture. The dungeon this time is set in Europe's Dark Ages. Huh! He walks across the checkered floor, noticing something ahead. 2 massive gargoyle statues loom over an archway. He is not impressed. Oh, a gargoyle right from the start. Inside Xiao Chu's mind, a stone creature with glowing red eyes breaks free. A system window identifies it, a level 3 scarlet gargoyle. Xiao Chu thinks to himself that gargoyles are a pain for any type of hunter. Yan Zhixi's team would be in deep trouble here. He considers as 2 of the stone monsters dive right at him. They lunge forward with fangs bared, ready to attack. But Xiao Chu's face splits into his demon form. It's just a shame. He finishes his thought as he transforms, that you guys met me. In his full demon glory, he stands before a massive window. His clawed hand rests on a shattered mental barrier. He stands alone in a vast cathedral-like space. More gargoyles emerge from the mist around him. And yeah, there are dozens of them lining the walls. He looks up at the horde. Come at me together. This gargoyles take the invitation, swarming from their perches. They descend on him from all sides, a sea of stone and wings. Our boy just crouches, ready for the fun to start. He unleashes a storm of dark energy tendrils. A blade of pure power slices clean through a gargoyle. This monster is completely obliterated by the strike. In moments, the hall is filled with nothing but rubble. Xiaoqiu stands among the debris, his four-armed demon form revealed. He holds the last surviving gargoyle by its head. It looks terrified. He taunts the creature. Why are you scared? I thought that gargoyles didn't possess emotions. And with a final flex of power, he crushes it into dust. Damn. Total annihilation, a massive shockwave tears through the cathedral. Xiaoqiu stands amidst the chaos, his demon form ready. And then the boss appears, a level 4 warrior gargoyle. Xiaoqiu speaks to it. You bear the appearance and build of a human despite being a monster. This gargoyle glares back. With such an appearance, my desire to kill you. It roars, just becomes amplified, and they charge. Back at the entrance, the main doors glow. Someone kicks them wide open. A new party of hunters storms in, ready for a fight, but they find the entire hall is just a field of rubble. One of them asks the leader, "Captain, didn't you say that it has been less than 12 hours since this dungeon appeared, and that we would be the first team to enter?" This captain confirms it. "That's right. The inspection bureau assured me that before we entered, the dungeon entrance had always been sealed." A woman from the team kneels by the debris. Captain, it seems like before we entered, an exceptional guy came through here. She points out the clean break in the stone fragments. She explains that blunt weapons do not leave marks like this. She realizes the horrifying truth. This gargoyle was treated like a piece of cloth by a person, and forcibly torn apart. This captain is stunned. What? As in? With their bare hands? How's that possible? But the archer points up. "No, Captain, I don't doubt that in the slightest." He tells them all to look. High on the wall, the gargoyle boss is impaled on its own spear, pinned like an insect. Damn! Meanwhile, at the Daehae City Dungeon Inspection Bureau, a stack of reports is slammed onto a desk. A bureau chief is furious. At least 7 teams now have reported that. After entering a dungeon, somebody had already cleared it without leaving behind a single monster. He yells at his staff about their failure to secure the dungeons, but one of his subordinates just shrugs it off. Isn't this a good thing eventually? Somebody would have to clear those dungeons anyway. A man in a suit slams his fist on a table, yelling about the worst-case scenario threatening humanity. He explains the danger is not just fighting monsters, but other hunters ambushing teams inside dungeons. He tells the younger agents that back in the day, the biggest killer in dungeons was not monsters, but other humans. He clutches his chest in frustration, saying humans should not die from such senseless conflict. He holds up a report on the level 4 gargoyle dungeon, getting back to the main point. He says the first incident was in that dungeon, and deduces the trespasser is at least level 4 or 5. An agent asks how he knows it is one person. He explains the monsters were all killed with brute strength, not a variety of weapons. He continues that a single person clearing so many dungeons cannot possibly use all the loot they obtained, so he orders his team to monitor the hunter markets for anyone selling loot from those specific dungeons. This scene shifts to the Daehae City Hunter Trading Market, a place built from shipping containers. A muscular merchant hands over a thick stack of cash. "All right, bro. Please ensure that this is the right amount for your goods." Xiaoqiu takes the money, simply saying okay. He thinks to himself that he probably undersold the items, but the materials were not useful to him anyway. A system window confirms his quest is complete. Rewarding him with gargoyle wings and a strength point, he walks away with the cash. Thinking it is enough to pay his rent to Yan Cixi, he glances at the money, thinking that 3,200 is a bit low. Nearby, a young woman tries to sell an old sword to a different merchant. This merchant scoffs, saying the sword is chipped and flimsy, only worth its weight in scrap. This woman is crushed, whispering that the sword her father left her is being treated like scrap. Poor girl. This merchant sighs dramatically, offering to buy it for 3,500 as if he is taking a loss. She clutches the sword, apologizing to it. She needs the money for medical fees. This merchant smirks. He knows she is clueless. The sword is made of a rare material, wrought iron cinder. He thinks about how he can extract the material and earn tens of thousands. Man, what a scumbag. He pressures her to sell it quickly before he changes his mind. Just as she is about to agree, a voice tells her to wait a second. Yan Chan asks if he is there to sell things too. He tells her they will talk about that later. Xiaoqiu's eyes narrow. He is focused on something. A system window identifies a sword. It is a level 5 hunter's weapon, tainted by a monster god's blood. A different girl holds the sword, Xiaoqiu says. "I'll be taking this sword." A burly man slams the table. "Little boy, this lady and I have already come to an agreement on a price for the sword. Aren't you being too rude to butt in like this?" Xiaoqiu just hands a thick stack of cash to the girl. "I hope this is enough." This other guy clutches his head in despair. This is insane. Insane. Really insane. Later, Xiaoqiu sits on a park bench with the girl, holding his new sword. She offers to take less money. Xiao Kuai, if it's you, I can only take at most 1,500 for the sword. He refuses, saying she already repaid him with a place to stay. He then orders her to keep it as her savior. He tells her the sword is more than it seems. Although I can't tell you the reason now. Its value far exceeds the tens of thousands I gave you. She is surprised. A secret, huh? I'm surprised that this sword that has been kept at home ever since I was young is full of secrets, just like you. She says she will not ask about his secrets or tell anyone about them. She only asks that he treat the sword. Flying Crow? Well, it was her father's. Xiaochu considers the name, Flying Crow, hiding in the shadows while flying free. Just like crows, a fitting name for it indeed. She feels like a failure for selling it. But she needs the money to treat someone named Qian Lu. He asks about Qian Lu. She brings up the Great Evil Spirit incident. He remembers the level 10 monster. A flashback shows a massive creature destroying a city. Heroes and soldiers fought to evacuate civilians. She explains that was the incident where her father lost his life. They only recovered his sword from the ruins. This monster's deadliest attack was its lethal radiation. It enveloped half the city in a green glow. Anyone close to it was turned to mush. Her sister Qian Lu was caught by the edge of the radiation. She says Qian Lu was a sword prodigy, destined to be a level 5 hunter like their father. Now she needs constant expensive treatments, or the radiation will kill her. So she herself became a healer to survive dungeons. Xiao Chu remembers. The great evil spirit was only stopped after he was transferred back. It took him one punch. His eyes burn with cold fury. This is why I hate monsters so much. Xiao Chu asks about government funds for the victims. She feels much better after talking and says they should head back. She offers to show him her real cooking skills tonight. As they walk away, two men in suits head towards the market. They wonder if they can find the dungeon thief here. One explains this is the most convenient place to cash out. They decide to start their search for the thief. This scene shifts to a quiet house at dusk. Inside, a young woman in a wheelchair pours water. Angry at keyboard warriors, she hears a loud pounding at the door. She realizes with horror who it is. It's the people from Kai Zhang investment firm. This pounding on the front door intensifies. She looks back, terrified. As shadows loom, she wheels herself over to a wooden practice sword. Her hand closes around the hilt. She positions herself in front of the door, ready to fight. This door is kicked wide open, revealing three thugs. This leader smirks. I knew Simone was home. He sees her in the wheelchair and calls her a disabled kid. He mocks her for trying to use a toy sword to stop him. She screams, "You asshole," and charges forward. She swings the sword with all her might, but the man easily knocks her in the wheelchair over. Damn. On the ground. She glares up at him. Still defiant, a boot comes down right towards her face. A man in a suit taunts Qian Lu on the ground. Do you really think you'll be able to slash me? He orders his men to search the house for Xiao Chu and Yan Shishi. His goons storm the apartment, kicking over furniture. They report back that nobody is home. This leader decides to take Qian Lu as a hostage. She screams that she will kill him. One of his men worries that this is kidnapping. The leader agrees it is a risk. He gets an idea and offers the concerned man a special mission. He hands over a set of car keys, telling him to crash a truck into the yard. He calls it a small accident. The truck will be full of garbage. This sound of laughter fills the air his men cheer. This scene shifts to a dark and stormy night. Rain pours down on the apartment buildings. Xiao Chu and Yan Shishi walk home in the downpour. Suddenly, Yan Shishi's eyes widen in horror. She sees her sister Qian Lu on the ground, her wheelchair overturned. Qian Lu struggles in mud, cursing the men who did this. Yan Shi screams her sister's name. She helps Qian Lu up, identifying the attackers as Kaijiang Investment. She asks Xiao Chu to take her sister inside. She needs to save some things in the yard. Xiao Chu wheels Qian Lu toward the house, but he stops, sensing something is wrong. His eyes narrow. He knows what is coming. A truck has smashed through the wall, dumping a mountain of trash into the yard. Yan Shishi stands in the rain, covered in filth, her face a mask of cold fury. A truck pulls up in the pouring rain. This driver leans out with a smirk. Because it happens to be raining anyway, you may as well stand outside and take a good shower. This truck drives off, leaving a mountain of trash in their yard. The driver yells, "This is just the first present from us." Kaijiang Ko, her sister Qian Lu, watches in horror from her wheelchair, crying out her name. A hand grips the wheelchair handle tightly. Qian Lu tries to go to her sister. "Let go, I want to go." But Xiao Chu holds her back, telling her to wait. He explains his reasoning. "If you go over now, you'll just make her feel worse." So they watch from a distance, as she stands alone in the rain, facing the mountain of trash. Yan Jian walks back towards them, looking completely defeated. This rain pours down on her, but she seems to not even feel it. They stand under the awning, watching the downpour. Qian Lu looks at him, her voice full of despair. "Why? Why is this happening? Can you tell me?" She asks him a desperate question. "Tell me, is there any justice in this world?" Xiao Chu's answer is cold and absolute. There has never been any. Damn, that's bleak. She asks about the future, but he says there will be no justice then either, he tells her. "The fairness that you wish for are just illusions fabricated by unfairness." He puts his hand on the wooden practice sword she is holding. Even this rain that falls on everyone isn't fair. He continues his bleak philosophy. It rains for the unfortunate beggars and the unjust alike. He says the world is not just, so the rain in this unjust world. He finishes his thought by punching the wooden sword, shattering it. Is similarly unjust. Qian Lu cries out in shock, holding the broken pieces. He turns away. His words are brutal. In my eyes, the issues faced by your family are completely meaningless. Jeez, that's cold. He steps out into the rain. But trouble just keeps knocking. It's really giving me a headache, she calls out to him. Where are you going? He looks back over his shoulder, his eyes cold. He is going to deal with them. She panics. Are you insane? She tells him their goons are level 3 and 4 and the boss is rumored to be level 5. She asks if he is not afraid of causing himself trouble. Don't go. You're finished if you do. He holds the glowing sword. Yea, it's indeed a pain and meaningless. He stands ready in the rain. I've always liked to fight meaninglessness with meaninglessness. His eyes burn red. And kill trouble with trouble. This scene shifts to the city skyline. Drenched in rain, he has arrived at the Kaijiang investment firm headquarters. Two businessmen are leaving the building, celebrating a deal. Xiaochu stands outside in the downpour, watching them. His expression is cold and determined. Inside the lobby, a man in a suit stands guard. This man with glasses notices something. He sees Xiaochu entering through the revolving doors, sword in hand. He smirks, calling him another troublemaker. His colleague complains about the timing. Two guards approach Xiaochu, telling him to put away his weapon. He just walks right past them, ignoring their warnings. He has a slight chilling smile on his face. This guard who tried to grab him freezes in shock as strange marks appear on his face. And then the guard just explodes. The lobby erupts in screams. Damn, demon swords, blood sacrifice. The system announces to a focused Xiaochu. More enforcers arrive, armed with katanas. He stands over a severed hand, facing the new arrivals. Their leader warns his men. Act with caution. The target isn't to be trifled with. Xiaochu is now surrounded by 4 swordsmen. 2 of them lunge forward to attack. Xiaochu bursts into the Kaijiang office, already in the middle of a fight. His expression is cold and focused. In a flash, he takes down 2 guards. He faces the next opponent, a man with dual blades. His eyes glow with a dangerous red light. This goon is completely terrified by what he sees. A red blur flashes across the screen. Xiaochu slices off the man's arm in one clean motion. This flying crow is already stained with blood. He runs another thug through from behind. Another goon sees an opening. There's an opening, his sword is stuck. This man leaps down, ready to strike, but Xiaochu just lets go of his sword and punches him. This man cannot believe it. He's clearly a hunter who uses weapons. So why is his fist stronger than a tank's? Xiaochu calmly retrieves his sword. He walks through the lobby, leaving a trail of destruction. Meanwhile, the boss is gloating about taking the sister's house. His underling praises his plan to redevelop the land for a fortune. Suddenly, a panicked goon bursts through the door, he tells them. Somyun charged in and is killing everyone! This boss asks how many attackers there are. The answer is just 1. This boss is confused. He says they never target anyone powerful. He decides to go see for himself. Let's go take a look. A massive battle axe slams into the floor. This boss and his 2 main guys step out to face the threat. Inside the Kaijiang investment building, the goons hear a sound. One of their men is at the bottom of a staircase, begging for his life. A dark red slash cuts through the air. This man lies dead on the floor. Xiaochu stands at the top of the stairs. He looks down at them, his eyes glowing with a cold red light. These 3 main goons are completely shocked. This leader tries to rally them. What are you afraid of? We're level 4 hunters. Not a single one of us is to be trifled with. They all power up, summoning an energy axe, glowing guns, and ice crystals. They face off against Xiaochu. Do you finally realize your mistake? If you quietly surrender, well, leave your courts intact. One of them recognizes him as the guy from Yan Jisi's house, the one who put their associate in a coma. Xiaochu thinks to himself, it'll be annoying to continue in human form with 3 level 4 hunters. He slams his sword into the floor, sending out a shockwave of sparks. Suddenly, all the lights in the building go out, plunging them into darkness. This goons get nervous, wondering if he is some kind of assassin who gets stronger in the dark. But the gunman smirks. But when it comes to the darkness, I'm the one who rules the world. He activates his night vision skill. His eyes glowing green. He looks down the hall and sees something strange. It is Xiaochu who has transformed into a demonic armored monster. This gunman screams out in pure terror. A monster. Outside the building, the storm rages on. This gunman sweats, his enhanced vision showing him something he cannot comprehend. He sees the monster standing at the far end of the hall, a silent, imposing figure. In an instant, the monster rushes forward in a blur of dark energy. He panics, unloading both his pistols down the hallway, but it is no use. The sword is already through his chest. Damn, this axe wielder yells out for his fallen comrade. Joseph, what's going on? He sees Joseph's body on the floor. He wonders if he is dead. Lightning flashes as Xiaochu raises his sword in his monster form. A red blur streaks across the darkness. This axe guy just barely blocks the attack, sending sparks everywhere. He sweats. Realizing that slash would have killed him instantly, this third goon, the ice user, watches with a grim look. He summons a massive ice spear from the ceiling. Xiao Chu in his demon form looks up at the incoming attack. He raises a single clawed hand to meet it. This ice spear slams down onto him with immense force, and he just shatters it with one punch. Damn. This area is filled with smoke and broken ice shards. Xiao Chu's glowing red eyes narrow with killing intent. This axe guy hears a strange sound and turns around in fear. Xiao Chu is suddenly towering right over him. A thin red line appears across the man's neck. He has just enough time to curse before he dies. Xiao Chu stands over the man's fallen body. This flying crow sword is now awakened by fresh blood. This remaining goons stare in absolute terror. One of them stammers, completely paralyzed by fear. He sees the demonic figure standing at the end of the hall. Its reflection in the window is a terrifying silhouette. And then Xiao Chu is right in his face, his red eyes glowing. Xiao Chu stands in his demon form, the bodies of the fallen scattered behind him. This axe-wielding leader screams out, "Inyuv!" But he is gone, and a new man with a rapier stands at the top of the stairs. In his monster form, Xiao Chu sniffs the air, identifying him as a level 6 hunter. This new guy studies him. He wonders if he is a monster, but says he lacks the barbarity. He then considers if he is a transformation-type hunter, but dismisses that too. He concludes Xiao Chu is a unique hybrid and sees a business opportunity. He smirks, thinking this new discovery will more than satisfy his backer. This level 6 hunter lunges down the stairs, a blur of motion. A green energy slash flies at Xiao Chu's head, but our boy dodges just in time, the attack grazing his helmet. This hunter is impressed. Your reaction speed is as insane as one would expect from a human-like monster. You actually staggered my attack. But he is confident. But I've already figured out your limit. He unleashes a whirlwind of green slashes. This attack rained down on Xiao Chu's armored form. This hunter grins. You really are a monster with vitality that makes you as hard to kill as a cockroach. He prepares another move, but this attack isn't so simple. He sends another powerful slash right at Xiao Chu. Xiao Chu seems to let the attack get close. This hunter's grin widens. You fell for it? He suddenly drops his rapier, and in its place he pulls out a massive revolver. Classic, he aims the gun right between Xiao Chu's eyes. He fires at point-blank range, the muzzle flash engulfing Xiao Chu's head. He gloats that his move has never failed, lamenting that he cannot capture this new species alive. This swordsman thinks to himself, but I reckon that even if it's just a corpse, it should be pretty valuable. Xiao Chu's demonic form just stares back, his red eyes glowing. This swordsman sweats, wondering how this is possible. He thinks it should have been impossible to dodge at that range. He realizes the monster must have predicted his attack. He asks how he knew, and Xiao Chu names his technique. Rapier pattern, No.19. Xiao Chu explains that he created this sword technique himself. He says the technique was meant only for justice, but the swordsman calls him insane, saying it was made by someone called Mask. This guy just laughs. Isn't annihilating a monster such as you justice and no? Xiao Chu asks, I'm a monster, perhaps. As for all those people whose homes and lives have been destroyed on your account, were they unjust as well? This swordsman says he does not care who he is or why he is here. He gives a whole speech about how anything hindering progress is unjust. He powers up his green energy, declaring he stands on the side of justice. He lunges forward, unleashing a flurry of green slashes. Xiao Chu's monster form simply says, so that's how it is. Spiked tendrils erupt from his back. This is your justice. One of the tendrils whips past the swordsman's face in a blur. This man looks down to see the tendril has pierced his chest. He looks up in shock. What in the hell is? This tendril rips back out of his body. It coils like a scorpion's tail, ready to strike again, and it stabs right through his open mouth. Damn, that's just brutal. Outside the skyscraper, lightning flashes across the sky. Xiao Chu holds the man aloft, impaled on his tendrils. The guy calls it a sneak attack. He looks down at our boy. Damn it, just what kind of a monster are you? Xiao Chu in his monster form speaks, didn't I, he finishes his thought, just tell you who I am? He drops the dead hunter from his tendrils. This body lands with a heavy thud. His sword pulses with a dark red energy. He stands there, a true demon king. His clawed hand tightens around the hilt. A system window pops up. The sword is now the bloody flying crow. It has an unlimited growth skill, a wave of blood powerful enough to rend the earth. Xiao Chu looks at his weapon. Bloody flying crow. So that's your name now. He can feel the sword's heartbeat in his hand. He thinks it is a perfect match for him. This last goon is completely losing it. Xiao Chu's gaze falls upon him. This man begs for his life from the floor. But our boy just raises his sword. He commands his weapon. Go. Bloody flying crow. A massive wave of blood energy erupts from the blade. It completely engulfs the last man. He screams as the attack consumes him. And then there is only silence. Outside the building, the bloody wave is still visible. It blasts right through the side of the skyscraper. Down below, a fully armed tactical team looks on. A soldier reports to Commander Jiang. The building is completely surrounded. Outside the building, a military commander orders his men to stand by. He scoffs at the idea of innocence inside Kaijiang. He declares that these troublemakers will face the punishment they deserve suddenly. Two of his soldiers see someone walking out. It is Xiao Chu, back in human form and covered in blood. Someone wonders if you really confronted the entire company alone. Yan Shishi watches in horror. He screams, he's going to die. She drops her umbrella, completely stunned. She runs out into the rain as her sister calls after her. She stops short, looking down at her fallen umbrella. A city defense squad officer approaches her, asking if she is Yan Shishi. She confirms her identity, and he says they need her cooperation. This officer asks if she recognizes the man standing in the rain. Her eyes widen. She knows exactly who that is. She panics, asking what happened to him and if he is still alive. This officer smirks. Not only is he still alive, he's still quite alive and well, and so the scene ends. This title card appears, I must become a monster. We cut to the city defense squad's private prison. Inside, Xiao Chu sits tied to a chair in an interrogation room. Poor guy. This commander watches him through a one-way mirror asking for an update. His subordinate reports that Xiao Chu confessed to the attack, but that is all. They only know his name. Xiao Chu. He has no records, no history, like a ghost. This investigation did connect him to Yan Shishi, and the Dungeon Monitoring Bureau was also looking for her. This subordinate reveals the Bureau has been hunting a dungeon thief, and that thief is Xiao Chu, an official reports to a man with a white beard. According to our investigation, Yan Shishi's a level 2 healer, and her father was a level 5 hunter. This official continues, that's right, he previously served in the army. After sustaining numerous injuries, his strength was practically gone after his service ended. He explains the father declined a government post and died in the Great Evil Spirit incident, the same incident that disabled Yan Shishi's younger sister. This report includes Yan Shishi's testimony. She became acquainted with Xiao Qiyu, would suddenly appeared in the dungeon after entering without going through official channels. This reason for Xiao Chu's attack is laid out. He took action for the sake of his friends. This old man comments dryly, what a brave, dependable hero of a swordsman. A man with a beard and a scar enters the room. He addresses the older man as Bureau Chief Arthur. Arthur checks his watch. Let's go. Seems as if we'll have to go in there and ask for ourselves. This official thinks to himself, these two are both level 6 hunters, the city's strongest fighting force. This door to the interrogation room swings open. Inside, Xiao Chu sits on the floor, looking up. His expression is calm, almost thoughtful. Bureau Chief Arthur enters. He thinks Xiao Chu is looking at him. He realizes our boy is looking at his uniform. Why is it that seeing my uniform has caused him to show such a nostalgic expression? This official holds out a file. Xiao Qiyu correct. Arthur sits across from him. Considering the crime you have committed, I think you must have an idea of how all of this is going to conclude. He lays out the options. You'll either be sentenced to death or made to pay the weight of your crimes in whatever value you can provide. He explains that means fighting on the front lines, where most die. For serious criminals, the number might be as high as 3,000. Geez, that's cold. Xiao Chu looks up, a shadow on his face. So, in all of your eyes, fighting to repel demons on the front lines is a form of punishment. Arthur asks if he has been to the front lines. Xiao Chu says he was there for a while, in some other capacity. This two men exchange a skeptical look. Arthur thinks to himself that few hunters survive the front lines. He plans to check Xiao Chu's photo against the records. He leans forward. In that case, it seems as if there's some destiny between us. He says they were also stationed there. This other man says he was there for a decade. If we're to speak of those with more seniority than myself, it would only be Mask, and those heroes who were the first to establish the frontline defense against the demons. Arthur touches a medal on his uniform. This is one of Mask's medals. Once, I also served in battle under him. He says, even then, he only saw the great man from a distance. From behind, this scarred man slams the table, yelling about the hard-won peace. He says that Mask was dealt with by the Federal Council. He leans over the table, trying to intimidate Xiao Chu. He asks, so do you understand? He warns that Xiao Chu's secret technique for entering dungeons will destroy their current state of peace. Xiao Chu just sits there in silence. These two officials watch him, waiting for a response. Arthur says his uncooperative attitude is utterly futile against the government. He gives a final warning the people in the federal capital will not be so gentle. And with that, they leave the room. Xiao Chu thinks to himself, I do want to have a look around that place again. But he knows it will not be possible just yet. A system window appears. Main quest, the Great Evil Spirit's rebirth. This quest is to eradicate the new disaster level Great Evil Spirit. This reward is the spirit's core, and we see the massive demon itself. Xiao Chu thinks to himself. He already knew this would happen. He remembers from his past life how the spirit found a host and was reborn. He was sent to the front lines, but returned to save the city as Matt. He defeated it with a single punch, but still got a pile of bad press for it. Man, what a betrayal. This people blamed him for being late, for the spirit's return, for everything. Back in the present, he thinks. So the lives or deaths of those people. What do they have to do with me? Outside, the two men discuss Xiao Chu's claim of being on the front lines. Arthur says he has never met anyone so young with such violent strength. He deduces that Xiao Chu is at least a dual-class hunter. Maybe even more. Arthur calls him an idiot genius for throwing his life away for a trash company. This scarred man agrees. That's true. It's the union that would even put Mask on trial. He says trying a genius like him would be nothing in comparison. Ash from his cigarette falls through the air. We cut to the federal government's capital, Xing City, after years of darkness. Humanity rebuilt its cities, but Xing City became a symbol, a futuristic metropolis far beyond the others. Inside a boardroom, officials discuss Xiao Chu's rampage, calling him a violent thug. A blonde man looks at a photo. He notes Xiao Chu is young to kill a level 6 hunter, admitting he has talent. Another man slams the table. He says a lawless person with talent is a huge danger and demands a harsh punishment. He thinks to himself that Kaiji & Co. was his money tree, and now he's lost his proxy. This blonde man makes a decision. Let's send this criminal to the front lines. In accordance with the Palace of Redemption's first sequence, this corrupt official looks shocked. He asks why it will not be a public punishment. He worries that without a flashy example, his other corrupt agents will lose their fear of him. This blonde man cuts him off, saying they have more important things to discuss. He gets angry. Why is it that, after all this time, no one has been able to find any information on Mask? This entire boardroom is silent and tense. He continues ranting, saying Mask must be hiding somewhere on Earth. He slams his hand down next to Xiao Chu's file. Are you all hoping that the enemy will just ambush us out of nowhere someday? An official tries to calm the parliamentary chairman down, saying Mask is powerless now. This chairman is not having it. Powerless? Then how did he disappear before our very eyes in that courtroom? Another man argues that they all felt Mask relinquish his power. This others agree. Their propaganda has turned the public against him, making him a lone ranger with no support. This chairman considers this, but says Mask is a danger as long as he is not in their grasp. He thinks back on his rise to power. He had to give up a lot to his allies to crush Mask. A blonde man in a suit says, in short, for the sake of everyone's benefit, Mask must be found and put under our control. Another official reports that the front lines are weakening. Demon appearances are up 32%. This blonde man covers his face in frustration. He wonders if they can't accomplish anything without Mask. A man with glasses sweats as he reads the report. 32%. He asks if they went too far in dealing with Mask. Truthfully, even if Mask were to continue being the nominal savior of the world, it wouldn't have been much of a problem. This blonde man glares at him, are you? Questioning our joint decision. This man with glasses panics, of course not. I won't dare. This blonde man explodes. Are you saying that the Union can't survive without Mask? He asks if they have no confidence. He proposes a solution. Dispatch the elite of the City Defense Squad soldiers and use them to plug the gaps. A man with long hair objects. He says the City Defense Squad is the last line of defense for most cities. Another man smirks at him. He says the other guy just cannot give up the profits from the squad. He explains that all the squad's equipment comes from the man's family business. Downsizing the squad hurts his livelihood. This accused man yells that it is slander. The blonde man slams his hand on the table to silence them. He makes his decision. The City Defense Squad will be dispatched. He says downsizing is necessary anyway. He holds up Xiao Chu's file. He orders him sent to Xing City to be made an example of. We cut to the DA City's City Defense Squad building. An officer tells Yan Jishi and her sister they are cleared to go home. They will be called as witnesses later. This sister in the wheelchair asks what they are witnesses for. This officer explains it is for charging that heinous criminal. She says he will be publicly charged soon. This sister asks how he is a heinous criminal. Clearly, he was delivering punishment to those damned scumbags. This officer looks uncomfortable. She says his hands are stained with lives. No matter what, murder is wrong. This sister shouts back at her. W are all those people that the heinous criminal Shaw Q killed immaculate, upstanding citizens. Damn, she's got a point. She says those scumbags destroyed countless lives. They were the ultimate criminals. A new voice agrees with her. An old man in a decorated uniform says, those people indeed destroyed countless families. Each of them deserved to die. This officer turns in surprise. She calls him Commander Jiang. This younger sister in the wheelchair is silent. Commander Jiang continues. But even if they deserve to be hacked to 1,000 pieces, it is still up to us to determine by trial, and not for you to decide by yourself. She asks why they were not put on trial. He says some shadows exist that light cannot disperse. She looks up at him. Are you saying that to even resist the darkness is futile? Commander Jiang's expression is grim, he tells her. To resist by yourself is futile. Her hand clenches on the armrest of her wheelchair. She looks down. If even just resisting is wrong then. She screams. Then, this world's very existence is wrong. Yan Shixi watches her sister, thinking she has experienced this helplessness too many times. She tells her younger sister it is time to go home. Yan Shixi just says, okay. As they leave, Commander Jiang says, if only that girl could stand. This officer asks him what he means by that. He says that while angry words show helplessness, they are also a source of strength. He wishes he had the power of such anger back in his day. This officer is skeptical. She just says, her. She thinks that the girl can only move within the tracks of her wheelchair, that her so-called helpless rage can only amount to so much, a sister muses. Yan Shishi tells her sister to rest. She will clean the yard and think of something for Xiao Chu. This younger sister wheels herself away. Her expression is one of pure determination. She sits alone in her room, lost in thought. She thinks to herself, if this world has places where the sun's light isn't yet able to reach, then I'll be the one who lights them up. This sister's foot cracks the floor. If the sun's light can never reach those darkest corners, she stands up from her wheelchair. Then the sun has no need to exist. Her feet are planted firmly on the ground. She takes a shaky step forward, and then another, walking away from the wheelchair. Yan Xixi returns with a bag of trash. Qian Liu, I forgot that the room was also still a little messy. Her eye widens in shock. She sees her sister standing on her own 2 feet. You're standing. This sister looks down, her eyes shadowed. Big sis. Her hand begins to glow with a sickly green energy. Go! Dark tentacles erupt from her body. Run! Meanwhile, in the City Defense Squad meeting room, officers are complaining about the new orders. Commander Jiang begins to address them. The reason I have called all of you officers here today is to discuss. He stops mid-sentence, sensing something powerful. An officer asks what is outside. Commander Jiang says there is no mistake about this energy. His face is grim. This is the great evil spirit's energy. His subordinates panic. They insist Mask defeated the spirit long ago. Commander Jiang smashes through the window. He yells, "Initiate emergency military sequence. Evacuate the citizens of Dihei City." He leaps from the building. I will take responsibility for any consequences that result from these actions. Man, what a leader. Down below, the city streets are calm and unsuspecting. A news report on a skyscraper's screen recaps the Kaijiang building incident. A man with glasses stops to admire some flowers. Spring is here, huh? He wonders if the warm weather is why so many are blooming. A breeze rustles the rose bushes. One of the roses blooms unnaturally fast, its petals unfurling in an instant. Pink roses bloom in a sudden flash. A man with glasses looks up in confusion. A giant bee-like monster buzzes through the air. It lands gently on one of the flowers. This rose seems to absorb into its leg. Flowers burst from its body, even covering its eye. This vision ends with a single rose against a dark sky. Back in reality, a traffic light turns green. People begin to cross the busy street. A friend tells the man with glasses it is time to go. Bruh, the light's green. We can go now. But the man with glasses just stands there, frozen. He stares ahead in silent terror. Vines and roses burst from his face, twisting out of his eye. Jeez, that's brutal. His friend screams in horror. Monster! This man's hand dissolves into a cloud of petals. His whole body explodes into a shower of gore and flowers. This pink petals drift peacefully through the air. A woman catches them in her hands. So pretty! She smiles calmly as chaos erupts behind her. A massive pink blob smashes into the side of a building. This blob is a grotesque mass of bodies, all with smiling faces. This woman now has a rose for a head, leading an army of smaller flower monsters. A hunter with a huge sword arrives, yelling, "Don't panic, I'm here." This civilians cheer. They think they are saved. This hunter raises his blade, ready to fight. This hunter unleashes a massive fiery explosion on the blob of bodies. He stands in the fiery aftermath. HMPH, for someone as awesome as me, a monster like this is just seeking death. But then green tendrils erupt from his arm. He wonders if he has been infected. Another hunter recognizes the green light, this infectious radiation. In the form of green light, there's no mistake. This pink blob reforms in the sky. He yells, "It's the great evil spirit." Commander Jiang arrives, questioning how so many monsters could appear at once. An officer tells him this is not the great evil spirit. The infected are becoming human flowers. Not zombies, but Commander Jiang insists the desire to destroy and contaminate is an identical match. He lands on a rooftop, calling human flowers a fitting description. He tells his men this demonic evolution is beyond their imagination. He orders them to maintain long-distance coverage and avoid all bodily contact. His officers shout their assent and leap into the city. On the streets below, a man runs for his life, screaming for help. Another man screams that the monsters are eating them. Commander Jiang yells at the civilians to get down. He stands in the street, telling them not to just stand there. His mustache and eyes begin to glow with fiery energy. Man, what a look. A massive pillar of fire erupts from his body. This flames sweep through the street, incinerating the monsters. A civilian thinks they are saved, even as his own face is on fire. A piece of ash lands on another civilian's cheek. He screams as a pink growth erupts from his face. Jeez, that's brutal. He transforms into another flower monster right before Commander Jiang's eyes. This commander realizes this is the evil spirit's infection. An overhead view shows the entire city being overgrown with green vines. This entire city is being swallowed by massive green vines. Buildings are covered in foliage, and on the streets below, an army of flower-headed monsters stands ready. A bearded official looks on in horror. This is truly a verdant hellscape. A huge thorny vine slams down towards a crowd of people. It strikes a golden hexagonal barrier, protecting them just in time. Commander Jiang arrives with his troops, giving a critical order. He says, "Give up on using any fire-related power. Do not use your flames against those infected by the great evil spirit." He explains the real priority. No, what we should do is to prevent any part of the human flower from spreading. He warns them of the danger. Their capacity for infecting is strong. Even just a small scratch is enough to affect the average human. This bearded official runs up to him. "Commander Jiang, what is going on here?" Jiang looks out at the devastation. "It is UC, a disaster." This official asks if the great evil spirit has returned. Jiang confirms it without a doubt. The official is stunned. "I don't understand. How did it come back?" Jiang gives a one-word answer: immortality. He explains that for some monsters, being turned to dust is just an illusion of death. He gives the example of the immortal jellyfish, which can revert to an infant state to restart its life cycle. He says that as long as they avoid disease or being eaten, they are theoretically immortal. He clarifies that it is not true immortality. If they destroy the medium the monster leaves behind, it will die for good. He says the great evil spirit has this trait and its radiation revives the medium and transforms humans. This official clenches his fist in anger. "These damn pests." Commander Jiang looks at him sternly. "What do you mean?" This official explains that after the spirit's first defeat, they were ordered to eradicate all traces of it and cure the victims. But after Mask left, the corrupt officials in charge ignored the order and stole the relief funds. Man, that's just awful. He clutches his head in regret. If only they followed the order seriously right from the very beginning. Jiang tells him to focus on the present. He asks the official to find the source of the radiation. An officer on comms warns Commander Jiang about the radiation. We cut to a clean, futuristic city under a bright blue sky. A news report plays on a screen as a monorail passes. This report says Parliament is shifting defense forces to the anti-monster front line. A news graphic confirms the decision to bolster military strength. A news anchor looks distressed as she begins an emergency broadcast. She announces a disaster-class monster has appeared in Daehe City. This city is now a ruin, completely overgrown with massive green vines. Someone watching a live stream recalls this is where Mask defeated the great evil spirit. This comments debate whether Mask will show up since he supposedly lost his power. A social media user posts photos of the flower-headed monsters while evacuating. People in the comments panic and ask if the situation is under control. This user posts an update. The monsters are transformed humans and the infection is spreading fast. In another update, they report the city defense commander is going in alone. A news broadcast confirms Commander Jiang is a level 7 hunter facing a level 7 monster. This anchor announces they will now show the live situation. This live feed shows the vine-choked city through a staticky camera. Commander Jiang leaps down into the heart of the disaster zone. He moves with incredible speed, dodging the lashing vines. He continues to navigate the treacherous ruins. He suddenly lands in a clearing and stops. He looks up at a figure perched on a vine-covered building. Commander Jiang stares in disbelief. "It was you! It is Qianlu, Yan Shixi's sister, standing atop a giant rose. Damn, she holds a flower over one eye, looking down at him serenely." Commander Jiang scoffs at her. "HMPH, you're playing tricks." He recalls how monsters mimic religious symbols to fool humans. This bearded official calls him, warning that she is the reincarnated great evil spirit. Jiang taps his earpiece and says he understands. He glares at Qianlu. She asks if he regrets what happened. His fist crackles with blue lightning. "I do, very much so." He unleashes his power, yelling, "I regret no murdering you while you were still on that wheelchair. Jeez, that's cold." He fires a massive beam of pure lightning. It slams directly into Qianlu's face. This top half of her head is completely obliterated. A news crew and a helicopter cheers. As expected of the level 7 old guard, Commander Jiang floats in the air, surrounded by crackling energy, but his confident expression falters. He realizes the attack had no effect. Green vines sprout from Qianlu's wound, healing it instantly. Her face is perfectly restored. She says it is useless. This news helicopter continues to circle the ruined city. Qianlu's body is now covered in leafy armor, a crown of thorns on her head. Her eyes glow white as her transformation completes. This flower over her eye opens, revealing her normal blue eye as she smiles. Commander Jiang stares in disbelief. He mutters about her rapid regeneration. This cameraman panics. Why is she not dead? Is this the monster we are facing? But Jiang is not deterred. So what? His eye glows red. He unleashes an even more powerful barrage of lightning. Multiple beams of energy strike her body. She stands there calmly as green vines instantly heal the damage. She smirks at him. Is this all that the rumored darkness-purging sunlight can do? Commander Jiang is completely stunned. He leaps back across the rooftops, dodging an unseen attack. He lands on another building, thinking he felt an enormous threat. A voice asks from behind, "Is that the fastest you can go?" A blur of blue energy zips past him. He cannot believe she is faster than he is. She appears right next to him. "With this level of power, you dare to boast about yourself purging away darkness. You make me laugh." Vines wrap around Jiang as she taunts him about the victims dying. Blue lightning arcs across the vine-choked city. A news cameraman in a helicopter watches in disbelief. How? Is this possible? Zhang is forced to his knees, realizing it is not about speed, it is because she can trade places with other plants. Back at headquarters, an official slams his desk. Commander Jiang, return this instant. You are no match for her. He explains that as long as the other human flowers exist, she cannot be killed. This bearded official demands they nuke the whole area. Geez, Jiang assesses the grim situation. Surrounded by her army, he wonders if he can even escape. He stands firm, grabbing his cloak with resolve. He removes his commander's coat. He touches the metals pinned to his uniform. His eyes narrow with grim determination. Qianlu mocks him for realizing he cannot run. She says he looks like a trapped beast struggling to survive. His hand begins to glow with red energy as he says no. Commander Jiang's body erupts with red energy. This is, he roars as the power intensifies, my second reincarnation. A massive column of red lightning tears through the sky. His silhouette stands at the center of the blinding light. A cameraman watching the feed panics. Commander Jiang's going to use too much of his power for an overdrive suicide. This bearded official grits his teeth. No, this is not an overdrive suicide. This is him burning his life force away to reach a higher level through limit breaking. He screams into his radio. Commander Jiang, are you crazy? Maintaining the energy level at the edge of overdrive collapse in order to maximize power. Once the power is at its maximum, even a level 7 hunter can reach the power of a level 8, Jianlu explains. She details the cost. But every vein, every cell in your body is at their absolute overdrive limit. After the limit break, the hunter will suffer from body H's, or completely disabled if severe. She smiles sweetly. Did I get it right? Geez, that's cold. Commander Zhang's face is a mask of pure determination. He throws a punch that unleashes a torrent of red energy. Qianlu prepares to teleport. It's useless. At my will, I can instantly. She says she can swap places, but the attack is already on her. This blast hits her head on. She realizes his fist is faster than my thoughts. Commander Zhang follows through with his bloodied fist. Commander Zhang's attack hit the disaster class monster. The cameraman cheers, but the bearded official knows better. No, the great evil spirit did not get hit. A thermal scan shows the monster's energy is actually rising. This official looks on in despair. Commander Zhang, he is no match for the great evil spirit. One of his men asks what he means. He explains the myth of the giant Antaeus, who was unbeatable as long as he was touching the earth. He reveals the horrifying truth. The thousands of infected in the city are all her sources of energy. As long as we do not eradicate them, we cannot kill the great evil spirit. He explains she is one, but also 10,000. An analyst repeats the horrifying math. She is one, but also 10,000. This realization hits him hard. A technician shouts that the energy level is rapidly increasing. This bearded official screams. It is now a level 9 disaster. He concludes that Dahi City is doomed. Qianlu seems impressed. I now see that a human hunter can reach this level by burning their own life force away. He admits he once dreamed of being a strong fighter like this. She asks why he did not use this power to save the countless people who fell into darkness. This flower-headed monsters all begin to chant. Why? This question echoes across the entire city. She stands atop her throne of vines, demanding an answer. Elsewhere, soldiers struggle to maintain a golden energy barrier. One of them yells, "This is bad. We can't hold much longer." A flower monster smashes against the shield. But then the monsters suddenly start to retreat. The soldiers are stunned. They think they have been saved, but one of them pants. No, it's not over. He looks up at something massive forming in the sky. All the vines in the city are converging into a single point. This massive green energy explodes. Inside the light, a face forms. Its eye opens, glowing with green power. Qianlu emerges in a new, more powerful form. She looks down at Jiang. You asked? Why? Commander Jiang's hand glows with red lightning. Because of this damned way of life. This red energy erupts into a massive pillar. He forms a blade of pure power, but in this cursed life, he grips the energy sword tightly. Death is never rare. He lunges forward in a blur of red, and nothing new comes from being alive. This red lightning blade pierces through Qianlu's chest. She looks down at the attack with a calm expression. She accepts the blow without flinching. On a train screen, a news report declares victory for Commander Jiang. This passengers cheer for humanity's triumph. But the red energy explodes from Qianlu's back. She looks up, her wound already healing. Since you think nothing new comes from being alive, Commander Jiang pushes forward, still caught in his attack. Suddenly, green vines and energy surge around him. A massive green arm made of vines closes in. Qianlu holds a tiny version of Jiang in her fist. You should die. He is trapped in her grasp, along with this damned way of life. Jiang's eye is bloodshot, straining against her power. His body begins to dissolve into pink flower petals. These petals scatter across the vine-choked city. Qianlu watches them fade. That was but attacking a stone with an egg. Back at headquarters, the officials watch the live feed in stunned silence. This bearded official realizes the truth. Commander Jiang's energy vanished. This cheering crowd on the train now stares in horror. A mother covers her child's eyes. The kid says the man turning into petals looked pretty. Geez, that's cold on a train. A woman asks if Dahi City is doomed and if the masked man will show up. Her friend says Mask retired and vanished a month ago. She panics. Without him, what if we get into this kind of mess in the future? This other passengers on the train stand in grim silence. A live stream shows Chanlu as comments flood in. People are losing hope. In a prison, an alarm blares about the disaster-class monster, ordering an evacuation. A prisoner in a cell scoffs, asking if this is just a drill. His red eye glints in the flashing light. He knows it is real. Back at headquarters, a blonde official slams his hand on the table. Useless, all of you. He rages at the others for hesitating, saying the city will be destroyed in 90 minutes. He calls them all cowards for forgetting the glory of humanity. Another official mutters that they should not have treated the masked man so heartlessly. This blonde chairman's eyes widen in shock at the comment. He shoots up from his seat at the head of the table. A smarmy official suggests a plan. Let's use a small shockwave bomb and kill the disaster-class monster. This others eagerly agree, calling it a small but necessary price to pay. This chairman sees them as grinning shadow demons, promising him praise from the survivors. He looks on in horror, sweating at their monstrous suggestion. An aide bursts in with an urgent report from the battlefield. This chairman asks if it is the hero-class hunters they sent. This aide listens to his earpiece. No, it's not. They said it's something that's shaped like a human. His face drains of color as he asks if it is another monster. We cut to the City Defense Force private prison where a massive hole has been blown in the roof. Dark red energy smolders in the gash left in the building. This energy coalesces into massive, thorny rib-like structures. Damn. A prison guard collapses in terror as red energy sparks around him. A single boot steps forward with purpose. Another guard rushes in. What happened? Where is the prisoner? This terrified guard points up at the massive hole in the ceiling. He escaped, back in the city. Soldiers are completely surrounded by the overgrown streets. One of them looks up in despair. Commander Yang, his lightning is gone. Another screams that the plants are attacking again. Panic sets in and the soldiers start to run for their lives. A squad leader tries to rally them. Don't run away, even if you run. There is nowhere to go. He decides to make a last stand. This motherfucker, I'll risk it all. He charges but is immediately engulfed by a swarm of vines. His men cry out his name as he disappears. Inspired by the sacrifice, another soldier prepares his own attack. I'll risk it all too. Suddenly, a blur of dark energy slices through the air. This soldier falls to the ground, surrounded by severed vine. He looks over and sees his squad leader is safe. They stare up at the sky, realizing they have been saved. In a helicopter, the cameraman is told to retreat, but he refuses. He spots something through his camera. He grins with excitement. There's a reinforcement! A massive streak of dark red energy cuts through the sky. People watching a public screen see the new arrival. They wish it had come sooner for Commander Jiang. This energy attack tears through the vines protecting Tianliu. A monstrous armored figure with glowing red eyes emerges from the blast. A system window appears. Monster's Path. The objective is to destroy the new great evil spirit. And yeah, our boy is back. This armored man thinks about the great evil spirit's energy. He realizes it symbolizes life. Qianlu explains her power is the vitality of primal forests. She offers a place by her side. Living in this polluted world, it's such a painful thing. Join me, serve me with loyalty. She promises a world free of sadness and pain. She feels a connection to all her followers. I can feel it. I'm no longer just myself. She is one with the assimilated flowers who now only feel joy. She smiles, saying more will soon join her pain-free family. Geez, that's creepy. But then some of the green orbs of light begin to burst. Her eyes snap open in shock. My people in the south, a large amount of them are disappearing. She screams out, "Oh, you Aishu!" This red-armored man unleashes a storm of energy slashes. He seems to recognize her. Who would have thought it's her? His attacks shred through the massive vines. He falls through the tangled mess he just created. Chanliu is stunned, wondering why he is not assimilated by her power. He closes the distance in a blur of red energy. She screams at him to get down from there. He grips his massive blade, ready to strike. He slices clean through her giant vine arm. A web of glowing red lines fills the screen. These lines are countless slashes tearing through the air. He lands on her other arm, his sword plunged deep into it. On the arm he stands on, small flower monsters begin to sprout. This little flower creatures charge at him. A flower bud glows with immense green energy. It fires a massive beam of green light, but the armored figure is already on the move, running along a giant vine. His red eyes glow with focus. He dodges another energy blast at incredible speed. This entire vine is a minefield of exploding flowers. This cameraman is losing his mind. He's fast. Too fast. He says even a disaster class cannot do anything about this monster. Across the city, crowds watch the live feed in awe, but one man with a sword on his back is sweating. Monster, how can a monster possess such battle intuition? He wonders if it is a hunter in disguise. This text explains his movements are not luck, but pure skill. This man realizes this monster's technique surpasses even level 8 or 9 hunters. He concludes it must be a human in armor, because the alternative is too terrifying. This armored figure reaches his destination, landing on Qianlu's shoulder, and then he sprouts massive pink wings. Qianlu looks on in shock as he hovers before her. This crowd, watching, is confused. Why did it start flying? If he could fly all along then, why hide it until now? But the swordsman gets it. That's a bright move. The element of surprise. He says it was all to get close to her brain. This winged warrior pulls back his fist, a coin glowing in his palm. He unleashes a devastating attack, a phoenix of dark energy. It strikes her head on with incredible force. This cameraman cheers. It did it. It successfully split her head open. Damn, he actually did it. Down below, all the flower monsters have stopped moving. They stand frozen in the streets. This cameraman is ecstatic. Did we win? Is that our victory? He asks if the unknown monster killed the disaster. But one of the flower monsters speaks. Who are you? All at once, the flower monsters speak with one voice. Who are you? This question echoes across the entire overgrown city. Qianlu's head reforms, and she asks the same question. Then she recognizes his weapon. That sword, the flying crow. Why is it in your hands? This armored man just stares back in silence. Qianlu seems to understand. I see. You are a monster yourself. Her face fully regenerates and she says they do not have to fight. She offers him a place with her. Connect your power with me and the rest of us below. We can change this corrupted and dark world together. A system window appears for a great evil spirit core, an item only usable with her approval. Our boy is interested. It's giving me the mission reward directly. Indeed. This is not a small temptation from it. Qianlu presses her advantage. You want it too, don't you? To destroy this stale and dirty world. Do it with us. She speaks of a world reborn, running free through mountains and seas. She declares her mission. If the unending darkness exists in this world, we will have to destroy it with the world. Her flower people stand in the rain, waiting. Come and join us. She invites the entire city pulsing with her power. In the helicopter, the cameraman clutches his chest in pain. Thousands of human flowers, shouting out at the same time. Is it impossible to kill this disaster? He realizes something even worse. The bigger issue now is the two monsters knowing each other. This armored man continues to float silently before her. His only goal is to complete the mission, even if it means becoming a machine for the system. Qianlu realizes. She smiles. Ready for a fight. Then let's prove it now. Whether it's you that will destroy me, or me that will destroy this filthy world. Her head explodes in a blast of green energy, and our boy shoots forward like a red comet, straight for the attack. Green energy whips out from Qianlu's neck. This energy vines wrap around our boy, trapping him. Her headless body floats there, as a new head begins to form from the vines. And yeah, she is back. Screaming with rage, he is completely bound, and his wings are deactivated, but he activates a new skill. Spider monster feet. Qianlu's giant head lunges forward to swallow him whole. He uses the new spider legs to pry her mouth open from the inside. Man, that is rough. She struggles against him, gritting her teeth. Suddenly, a blast of dark energy shoots out of her eye. Our boy knows this trick. I have killed thousands of giant-sized monsters in my past life. The reason why they don't die is because the real body needs to be found. He thinks, if the real body is not located at the brain, then the place with the highest possibility is a small, dark familiar flies towards her back. Meanwhile, the main body summons his sword inside her mouth. This familiar burrows deep into her back. It carves a massive X into her flesh. This slashes tear through the core of her vine body. Green energy begins to leak from the wounds. A huge explosion of light erupts from her back. This blast tears through her body from the inside out. Our boy braces himself with his sword. He slices through the torrent of energy. This entire world seems to turn white and green. Qianlu's face begins to crumble away. Our boy is still inside, taking the full force of the blast, his armor cracking. This attack rips through countless green orbs of light, but the vines immediately begin to regenerate. Our boy's mask cracks as he senses her return. He stands ready as Qianlu's power surges around him, and from the tangled vines, a new form emerges. It is Qianlu looking completely unharmed. He strikes again, his blade piercing her chest. She looks down at him, unimpressed. I didn't think you would be this lucky with your futile strikes again. Our boy is panting heavily, admitting he is out of breath. This vines around them begin to writhe and twist. They form a cage, trapping him inside. Qianlu stands before him completely in control of the situation. Through his broken mask, he wonders what to do now. She smiles at him. I think you look way more handsome than the masked man. His eye widens. He seems to recognize something about her. She reassures him. Don't worry, you did successfully kill me. I only have a little bit of strength left to support myself. She stands over the city, a glowing green core in her chest. This cameraman in the helicopter loses all hope. Did he fail? City is doomed, but then he spots something in the sky. Over the vine-choked city, the sky darkens. A single streak of fire descends from the clouds. It is a missile, heading straight for the city center. This cameraman screams into his mic. A nuke, back at headquarters. The chairman sits alone. The order has been given. He clasps his hands, overcome with regret. What have I just done? Qianlu looks at our boy. Such cruelty. She says the whole city is the target of the sacrifice. They hang suspended high above the streets, she says. I want to at least let everyone see it before I die. Our boy watches her through his cracked mask. She wants everyone to see the truth about the people who bullied him. She turns and walks into a tunnel of her own vines. This vine's close behind her, sealing her inside. Her body transforms into a massive pillar of writhing green vines. From the base of the pillar, countless flower people emerge. Roses bloom all over the twisting green mass. She raises her arms, growing into a colossal tree reaching for the sky. A single thorny arm shoots upward. It grows and expands at an incredible rate. It forms a massive tree canopy, a living shield. This nuclear missile descends like a meteor. It strikes the tree shield head-on. This impact creates a blinding flash of light. This world turns white. Silhouettes of her flower people stand against the light. They seem to be absorbing the blast, sacrificing themselves. Our boy is thrown back, surrounded by sharp vine shrapnel. He looks on, watching the aftermath. These vines have formed a giant sealed bud, protecting what is inside. And then, the nuke detonates. A massive mushroom cloud. Damn! This shockwave tears through the city's buildings. A hexagonal energy shield appears, but the blast still vaporizes everything around it. This world erupts in a flash of orange light on the ground. Survivors huddle together amidst the chaos. A woman looks up, asking if it worked. This giant tree at the city's heart is engulfed in flames. Back at headquarters, an agent reports the energy signal is gone. He confirms the disaster-class monster was successfully eliminated. This agent clenches his fist, believing the city is finally saved. A lone military commander falls from the sky. His mission complete. His medals gleam one last time. A final sacrifice. This staff wonders if the monster took the bomb on purpose. But then someone shouts, pointing at the screen. This burning tree begins to split open. It shatters into a million glowing green shards. These shards transform into a shower of pink petals. They drift down peacefully over the overgrown city. Below, people emerge to watch the strange and beautiful sight. A young woman reaches out. Mesmerized, it's beautiful. A man panics, don't touch the petals. You might get assimilated. She catches the petals in her hands anyway. He sighs in relief. She is completely unharmed, high above it all. Our boy sits with Qianlu. He holds her human form as the petals fall around them. Her eyes flutter open, and she smiles. I finally see. She reaches for the sky. Spring can be this beautiful. Her hand goes limp. Her final moment of peace. Damn. A single hand reaches for a falling petal. In the quiet city, our boy rests against a stone. A system window appears. The mainline quest is complete. He receives his reward. The great evil spirit's core. It glows in his hand. A vibrant green heart. He knows what this is. This is the great evil spirit's heart, and also the heart of Yanqian Liu. He coughs, preparing to equip the core. He presses the glowing heart into his chest. With a single word, he activates a new skill. Teleport? And just like that, he vanishes from the city. Back at headquarters, the staff erupts in cheers. Everyone celebrates humanity's victory. An announcer declares over a city where flower monsters still stand. Then something strange begins to happen. These human flowers start reverting back to people. This crowd's watching are completely stunned. But one man realizes the horrifying truth. The human flowers that had been nuked were all human. Suddenly, public opinion turns chaotic. A voice narrates as the live broadcast cuts out and all online discussions are deleted. Every trace of the event is scrubbed from the internet. It has all been removed in official reports at the meeting in the Star City Federal Union HQ. A man addresses the chairman. Chairman, although we have the public opinion under control for now, we are still in an awkward position. This chairman sits in silence, head in his hands. This man continues, saying the nuke was not enough. He addresses the chairman. Counselor Walter, since you have mentioned the masked man, the solution would be simple. He asks if the masked man is not responsible for this situation. Another counselor objects. How is this the masked man's responsibility? This man argues that is precisely why he is responsible. He claims the Union poured countless resources into him, and that his whimsical act led to this tragedy. Geez, what a spin. This rest of the room is silent. Soon, only the chairman and the speaker are left. This man assures the chairman he will handle everything. But the chairman says the real problem is the lack of a high-end fighter. He asks about the progress of the Rising Sun project. This man reports that there have been rapid advances. He says it proves it is possible to merge monsters and humans. He claims they will be the ones to push humanity to new heights. He declares that they would become gods. Man, this guy is unhinged. We get some world history about the monster resistance frontline. Before the masked man, it was a land roamed only by monsters. This place is known as the source of disaster. It was only when the masked man appeared that humanity could fight back. He created the front line that separates humans and monsters. Now, 4 soldiers stand before a glowing blue portal. One of them asks who will break the news to team leader Jiang. They pass the responsibility back and forth. A silhouette begins to emerge from the portal. They all stand at attention as someone shouts that she is out. A foot lands firmly on the ground. Surrounded by a blue aura, a blonde man in a vest looks on, impressed. He says she completed it in just half an hour. A white-haired woman with a spear stands ready. He calls her a genius. A close-up on her masked face. Her eyes are sharp and focused. She turns to her squad. Why are your expressions so weird? A subordinate stammers. Team, leader, there's something we need to tell you. A disaster-class monster appeared in Dahi City. She asks if it has been dealt with. He says yes, but hesitates. He finally blurts it out. But your father, Commander Jiang, has sacrificed himself. She just turns and walks away. Okay, let's head to the next secret realm. Geez, that's cold. Her team is left standing there, completely stunned by her reaction. They follow her silently through the dense forest. Her men whisper among themselves, wondering if she is okay. They mention her nickname is Unmoving Ice. She overhears them. If the two of you are that idle, I can request to deploy you two to the redemption camp. They immediately shut up. This team arrives at a massive blue portal, a gateway to another secret realm. This blonde man asks if they should all go in together this time. He says it has been a long time since they fought alongside her. She glances back over her shoulder, her eyes narrow. You looking down on me? This blonde man panics. No, not at all. Absolutely, no such thing. She turns her back on him, walking toward the portal alone. She disappears into the swirling blue energy. This rest of the team breathes a collective sigh of relief. One says she felt like a high-class monster. Another adds that their team leader is more like a monster with no emotions and no pain. This scene changes to a dark cavern with an underground lake. This team leader walks alone along the rocky shore. A hand grips a spear crackling with purple energy. Elsewhere, a woman with white hair and a gas mask explores a cave. Suddenly, her eyes widen in surprise. She finds a pile of dead monsters, wondering if a team is already here. This cave is dark and damp, with a stream running through it. She examines the bodies. No, it's not the work of a small team. From the looks of the wounds, it seems like they were all cut down by the same sharp weapon. She wonders, did the person come in alone, like me? Then she hears something and snaps to attention. This sound of a fight echoes from deeper inside. She moves quickly toward the noise. Her expression is serious, ready for whatever is ahead. A muscular shark monster roars, swinging a crude cleaver. And there is our boy, fighting three of them at once. This woman watches from a distance. It's such a low-level looking fight, but I can't take my eyes off of him. She analyzes the fight. The guy is clearly suffering from a fatal wound and has his performance greatly affected. An average person would have died from the attacks of those three monsters. However, he's keeping up with the monsters with the help of various techniques in this high-pressure situation. She decides to intervene, her spear glowing with power. She unleashes a powerful purple energy slash. She slides into the battle, joining the fray. Her spear becomes a blur of deadly purple arcs. She slices clean through one monster's head. She twists and strikes another, a whirlwind of motion. Her spear impales the second monster through its back. This blade emerges from its chest. Our boy stands back as she effortlessly dispatches all three. Damn, she is good. She turns to our boy, demanding answers. What team are you from? What is your name? And why are you alone in this place? Her eyes widen slightly behind her mask. Our boy just stands there, swaying on his feet, and then he collapses. The fight finally taking its toll, he hits the ground hard, unconscious. Poor guy. She looks down at him, unimpressed. And here, I thought he'd be a worthy fighter, but he ended up being a burden. Suddenly, the water behind her begins to stir. A new wave of shark monsters rises from the depths. She clicks her tongue in annoyance. This is annoying. She readies her spear, purple energy crackling around it. She mutters to herself, all monsters. A memory of her father flashes in her mind. Her eye fills with a sudden, burning rage. She explodes with power, screaming, should die. Purple lightning fills the entire cavern. Back outside the portal, her team waits patiently. They speculate that she is taking out her grief on the monsters inside. I can already imagine what's happening to the monsters. They discuss her father's sacrifice, admitting they could never be that brave. This portal flares to life, and one of them calls out, "Stop that! Our leader is back!" She emerges from the light, carrying our unconscious boy over her shoulder. Her team stares in shock, asking who he is. This scene shifts to the Monster Resistance Frontline, N3 Military City. We see a hospital, where normal humans often work due to a shortage of medical hunters. Our boy lies in a hospital bed. A voice notes that his life signs are stable. A doctor explains his condition. His organs were severely damaged, but his incredible regenerative ability saved him. This white-haired woman sits alone, thinking he is terrifyingly strong. A doctor examines our boy, noting the nuclear radiation and burn scars on his face. He suggests keeping him in the special care ward for treatment, but she cuts him off, telling someone to take him back, that he does not need to stay. An older man in a suit and coat arrives. He is Liang Zhengye, the highest in command of V3 Military City. This woman calls him teacher, and the doctor addresses him as High Commander Liang. This scene shifts to the N3 Military City Command headquarters. The support team has reached Dahi City. A laudatory news report announces in the infirmary. This news honors the heroes who sacrificed themselves to stop the disaster. A close-up on the photo of her father, Commander Jiang. Liang looks at her. He deed with honor. She looks down at our boy's bed and agrees. He says dying on the battlefield is the best ending for them, and that he refused interviews on her behalf. He tells her not to be too harsh on her father, that his decision was a righteous one. He says her anger is really just guilt. A battle she is having with herself. Jeez, what a pep talk. Liang turns and walks away, leaving her alone by the bed. He stops at the door, coughing, and tells her to consult the boy about her battle troubles when he wakes. He adds that anyone who can control that sword is bound to be interesting. Our boy lies unconscious, his ornate sword resting against the nightstand. She asks what he means about the sword, and if he knows the boy's identity. But all she hears is him coughing as he leaves the room. She turns back to look at the sleeping boy. She leans over him, thinking she will have to wait until he is awake suddenly. His eyes snap wide open. Our boy's eyes snap open in shock. He wakes up in a bed, bandaged and angry. This white-haired spearwoman is there, looking surprised. She tightens her grip on her spear. She walks into a sterile hospital room. She's actually nervous. This is my first time feeling a sense of danger from anyone. Xiao Chu just stares at her, his expression unreadable. His gaze is cold and steady. He speaks from the bed. You can take the Jeeve drip off from me now. He sits up and asks where he is. She tells him Military City N3. He asks if she brought him here. She says yes and introduces herself as Jiang Ling. He gives his name. Xiao Chu. A long silence hangs between them. A news report plays on a nearby screen, blaming the masked man. This anchor declares the masked man betrayed the Union. Man, what a spin. Jiang Ling smirks. They're panicking. Such sharp words, used to shift the responsibility away from themselves, mean some of the higher-ups lost their cool. She calls the masked man a convenient tool, a garbage can for all their problems. She tells Xiao Chu he can leave when he is rested, as long as he causes no trouble. But she adds a threat. I'll still break your bones one by one, the. He replies calmly, not possible for you. She asks what he means. He looks her dead in the eye. You cannot possibly break all of my bones. One by one, you cannot beat me. Damn, she is not happy about that. But she accepts the challenge. Very well, now that you've said it. I look forward to the day we fight against each other. She turns to leave, saying she has to clear the next secret realm. Her team meets her in the hall, asking why the High Commander wants Xiao Chu. One of them thinks the name is familiar. Xiaoqiu. That's a familiar name to me. Two of her team members talk. I feel like our leader is furious. The other agrees. Yeah, you think? I don't even need to feel it to know she's filming right now. Just then, they see Xiao Chu walking down the hall, sword in hand. They stop him, asking if he is sure he wants to check out so soon. He tells them he is going to a secret realm. They are shocked. Who? You're going to challenges a secret realm in this conviction of yours? Did you fry your brain or something? Xiao Chu clutches his chest, explaining his heart is merging with an evil spirit's heart, and it thirsts for more life force. He says as long as he keeps killing monsters, he can absorb their life force to heal his wounds. This team member points out a problem. By the way, do you have a team? If you don't have one, you're not allowed to go into a secret realm. Another team member tells him to let it go, saying another person clearing realms is a good thing. But then High Commander Liang appears in the hallway. He looks down at them with a calm expression. This team member tries to justify the rule, but Liang cuts him off. Loose are not flexible, but a human is. The intention was always to have the rules serve the humans, not the other way around. He adds that he is the High Commander, and this is his command. This team member snapped to attention, terrified. None at all. Sir, absolutely nothing. Xiao Chu just watches the exchange. Liang looks over at our boy. He tells his men to split up, half with Jiang Ling, half with Xiao Chu. Elsewhere, Jiang Ling stands at the entrance to a secret realm. She waits, spear in hand, looking ready for battle. Two of her team members run up to her. She asks where the others are. They explain the situation with Xiao Chu and the High Commander's orders, wondering if Xiao Chu is related to him. She asks if he really wanted to clear a domain right after waking up. Her teammate calls him desperate and prideful. Jiang Ling considers this, her expression, unreadable. She says she would not be so sure that he must have a plan. Her team asks what she means, if she thinks he is secretly strong. This scene shifts as her teammate explains her own incredible power, her lightning affinity, her famous father, and being the High Commander's only student. One of the soldiers asks Xiao Chu a question. By the way, brother, are you related to the High Commander somehow? Xiao Chu denies it completely. Not at all. This soldier accepts it, saying he does not look related to their legendary commander anyway. He explains that High Commander Liang Zhengye is a living legend, with senses like a bat and a rumored SSS class. He also fought alongside the Masked Man during the formation of the front line. This soldier explains the Monster Resistance Army, the original team, and how the front line was named after them. Xiao Chu looks off into the distance. How many years ago was that? A flashback shows the Masked Man leading 3,000 soldiers onto a barren wasteland. They were swarmed by countless monsters. Day and night, their numbers fell, but they proved humanity could retake the land. These survivors became strong hunters and founded the military cities. Back in the present, the team stands before a massive blue portal. These soldiers offer their help, trusting the High Commander's judgment. Xiao Q looks back at them. Assist me. He turns them down cold. Not necessary. I'm enough as it is. Damn, that's confidence. And with that, he walks into the portal alone. He steps out into a dense forest. A small smile plays on his lips. Dark red energy begins to swirl around his body because these are the only places he can kill without holding back. He transforms into his full monster form. A monstrous wolf snarls nearby. A whole pack of them emerges from the woods. Xiao Chu stands ready, facing the beasts. He notes to himself, 3 minutes. We cut to a secret realm where a shadowy figure moves through the woods. A pack of monstrous wolves lunges forward, only to be met with a blur of dark energy. In a single instant, they are all sliced apart. Their bodies litter the forest floor. Suddenly, green particles begin to rise from their corpses. Their forms start to dissolve into the light, and then they vanish completely. Xiao Chu stands in the clearing, now in his full monster form. He thinks to himself, the evil spirit's heart is absorbing the monster's life force. His heart glows red, healing his body and extending his transformation. Back outside the portal, 2 soldiers are mocking him, wondering if he is dead yet. This bald one jokes he is probably just hiding by the entrance, waiting for time to run out. Just then, the portal flares to life, and Xiao Chu steps out looking completely unfazed. The soldiers are stunned. He is back way too early. One asks if he killed the boss. Xiao Chu just says, I did. He thinks to himself that the monsters were so weak it did not even feel like a boss fight. Damn. He tosses them the boss drop, a pair of fangs. They realize he cleared a class 5 realm in just 17 minutes, half the time of Jiang Ling's team. This blonde soldier sweats. Realizing this kid is twice as strong as their best team, Xiao Chu just walks off, telling them to go to the next realm. He stands before the next portal, next one, and the next one after that. He is just tearing through these secret realms one after another. This scene shifts to a hand reaching down toward a small path in the grass. A soldier kneels by some tracks in a clearing. The teleportation Orion is no longer in effect. Someone must have cleared it. Jiang Ling and her team look on as he continues. The footprints are still fresh, and looks like it was cleared not long ago like the previous secret realms. Another soldier dismisses the idea it could be Xiao Chu, saying the team that did this must be terribly strong. This first soldier concludes it must be a team from another city trying to steal their resources. Jiang Ling just smiles. Isn't that a good thing? Someone is willingly clearing all of the secret realms for us. She tells them to head back, but her expression hardens. She wants to see exactly who this person is. We cut to the N3 Military City Management Office, where teams register their loot for rewards. Jiang Ling's team walks into the building just as Xiao Chu's group is at the counter. She overhears the clerk in disbelief. 17 secret realms. You guys cleared 17 secret realms in a single day. This bald soldier hands over a list of the cleared realms. The clerk stammers that those are indeed the ones. This clerk sweats, asking how they can possibly prove they were the ones who cleared them. This soldier dumps a massive pile of monster parts and crystals onto the counter. He mocks the clerk. Did you lose too many brain cells from sitting in an office for too long? He tells him to appraise the loot. This clerk is flustered, saying that not even Jiang Ling could clear so many realms in one day. This bald soldier proudly introduces Xiao Chu, explaining he was handpicked by the High Commander and cleared all the realms himself. This clerk is now a believer. He offers them a new mission, a dangerous Class 6 realm where 2 teams have already vanished. Xiao Chu accepts the request without hesitation. The bald soldier cheers him on. He then boasts loudly. I mean, no offense by this comparison, but Big Brother Xiao is way stronger than Team Jiang, and by a long shot. This clerk starts coughing nervously, trying to warn him. Look behind you. This soldier turns around to find Jiang Ling standing right there. Arms crossed and looking absolutely furious. Man. Busted. He immediately starts bowing and apologizing, saying he was just exaggerating. One of Jiang Ling's teammates grabs the list. Later, look, the secret realms here were the owns we went to today. She looks straight at Xiao Chu. You cleared them on your own. He just says, yeah. She gives him a sharp look. I can see the confidence you had when you were on the hospital bed now. Xiao Chu just stares back, wondering why this woman holds such a grudge. Jiang Ling steps up to the counter. I heard about a Class 6 secret realm that's taken down a lot of people when I was outside. Please let me accept that request too. She turns to Xiao Chu with a competitive smirk. Let's see who takes down the secret realm boss first. This 2 of them and their teams walk off, leaving the other soldiers behind. This bald soldier speaks to Xiao Chu. Big brother Zhao. I think my leader who hates losing is determined to try and one-up you right now. Xiao Chu looks at the mission details. Looking at this secret realm, I finally understand why the system is trying to send me to the monster resistance frontline. A memory flashes in his mind. And I now remember what happened at the monster resistance frontline after the case with the great evil spirit in my previous life. This blonde soldier from Jiang Ling's team stares at Xiao Chu, a look of dawning realization on his face. He eyes our boy's face and then his sword. That face and that sword. His eyes widen in shock. I finally remember where I saw him. This scene shifts to the N3 Military City Command Office. A high-ranking official sits at his desk. You're telling that the man called Xiao Q is the murderer that massacred a whole office building of people at Dehi Sid a few days ago. This blonde soldier stands before him, confirming the accusation. That is correct. High Commander, sir. This commander is skeptical, but the soldier lays out his evidence, pointing out the scars, hairstyle, and the sword. He insists it has to be the same person, saying he likely escaped during the recent chaos in Dahi City. This soldier is absolutely certain, but there are too many coincidences. Even if the answer is unbelievable, it must be the truth. This high commander agrees to investigate personally. Tomorrow he will be clearing a secret realm with young Lady Ajang. I will head over personally. This blonde soldier smirks, thinking about the promotion he will get if he is right, man. What a snake. This next day, the teams stand before a portal in a grassy field. Jiang Ling's team begs to join her, saying they cannot hide behind her forever. She wears a mask now. Thinking they're just worried because 2 other teams went missing in this realm, she turns and walks away from them, spear in hand. But then she stops and looks back. Follow me. She looks right at Xiao Chu. Heads up. This is between me and him. None of you get involved. Xiao Chu just stares back, his expression unreadable. This camera pans up to the clear blue sky. Elsewhere, a lone soldier stands before a massive swirling portal. He looks annoyed. The high commander said yesterday that he'll be here, but he's not here yet. He decides to go in alone. Guess it can't be helped. I'll have to get in first. This portal vanishes as soon as he enters. Meanwhile, Xiao Chu and Zhang Ling's combined team enter a different realm, a dark tunnel. One of the soldiers uses a detection skill, his hands glowing with light. He gives his report. Temperature, normal. Humidity, normal. Toxic compositions in air, none. 2 soldiers discuss the layout. This is a very tight space, so if we encounter any strong monsters here, we'll be at a disadvantage. This dark, narrow passage stretches on ahead. This team stands ready. Zhang Ling now wearing a gas mask. And just like that, dozens of red eyes appear in the darkness ahead. Xiao Chu is tense. That many of them. Damn it. Jiang Ling wonders about the realm's difficulty. Her spear begins to crackle with purple lightning. A horde of monstrous crocodiles with multiple heads charges down the tunnel. Jiang Ling grips her spear, channeling a massive amount of energy. She points forward. Pierce them. A huge beam of purple lightning erupts from her spear. This blast tears through the horde of monsters. This tunnel is filled with the aftershock of her attack. She stands in the aftermath, her spear transformed into a wicked-looking gauntlet. This entire tunnel is now clear. Not a single monster left. One of her teammates is stunned. One strike that was all it took to kill so many of them. Jiang Ling brushes it off. It's just a terrain advantage. They were lined up in a straight line. This bald soldier claps Xiao Chu on the shoulder. Big brother Xiao, looks like team leader Jiang is not holding back this time. You'll have a hard time trying to beat her. Xiao Chu just looks tired. He thinks this whole competition is dumb. Man, he is not impressed. This team continues down the long dark tunnel. A soldier notes it has been 10 minutes, wondering if her attack really killed all the monsters. But then Xiao Chu comes to a sudden stop. This entire team halts behind him. Zhang Ling finds it strange. There are no corpses or items from the 2 missing teams. Her teammate suggests her attack destroyed everything. She seems to accept that. This bald soldier asks if anyone else heard that sound. This others say they did not hear a thing. This whole group gets into a defensive stance, ready for anything. Suddenly, the tunnel begins to shake violently. A deep rumbling sound echoes from the darkness ahead, and a massive red monster bursts from the ground. Geez, its spiky red back fills the entire passage. Her teammates are terrified, saying it's over. Zhang Ling wonders why they are so afraid. Her eyes narrow as she realizes what is happening. She figures the monster has an innate ability, spirit intimidation. She powers up her spear, purple lightning crackling around her. She says, "Is not going to affect me." Xiao Chu just stands there, watching calmly. He gives his massive sword a casual twirl, and then he slams it into the ground. This monster opens its mouth, firing a beam of purple energy. Jiang Ling leaps through the air, striking the beast directly on its head. She stares it down, her own energy flaring. Jiang Ling stands over the corpse of one monster, while far down the tunnel, Xiao Chu is crouched. He plunges his sword straight into the ground. This blade sinks deep into the earth, and a second massive crocodile monster erupts from below, its head already pierced. Its eye glows faintly before it dies. Xiao Chu stands over the second monster's body. Zhang Ling's team is in shock, wondering how another monster was hiding underground. This bald soldier puts a hand on Xiao Chu's shoulder. That was a close call. If brother Xiao hadn't killed the underground monster, we would have probably been eaten by now. Zhang Ling approaches, asking how he knew it was there. She admits she was completely focused on the first monster, and if not for him, they would have been ambushed. Xiao Chu says, "Exactly. It was indeed because of the ground shaking that I felt the second one coming." He adds that it is natural for monsters to sneak underground here. One of Zhang Ling's men is skeptical, saying he was by the wall and heard nothing. He asks how Xiao Chu could pinpoint its weak spot. Xiao Chu sweats, thinking back on his past life. The frequency generated by this kind of underground vibration is far more distinguishable than the one provoked by a demon god moving in the blink of an eye, which is capable of tearing space. Her teammate realizes, but she corrects him. Wrong. They are not the bosses at all. She explains that if they were, the treasure chest would have appeared, and the teleportation array has not opened either. This makes the soldiers nervous. If those two were not the bosses, then what kind of monster is the real boss? Jiangling tells her team to stay close and not fall behind. They agree, thanking her for her help again. She just walks on. Since we are on the same team, there is no trouble to add or remove. Her team looks on, touched by her words. At the end of the tunnel, they find a massive sealed metal door. This team stands before a massive door. Jiangling says the boss should be inside. She orders her unit to stay back. Yayo QIU, and I will enter, you will stay outside. Her team shouts their support as the two of them walk toward the door. A pair of gloved hands grips a large red valve. They begin to turn the heavy wheel. Xiao Chu and Jiangling work together to open the sealed entrance. A huge cloud of dust and steam billows out as the door cracks open. They step through the haze into the darkness beyond, and then they are swallowed by the shadows. This heavy door slams shut behind them with a deafening boom. They find themselves in a vast, empty chamber. Suddenly, a massive clawed foot slams onto the ground. Jiangling is on alert. The sound of these footsteps is so light, a massive humanoid crocodile monster with glowing red eyes stands before them. She notes its form, a humanoid one. This two of them stand at one end of the long chamber, facing the beast. This monster lets out a powerful roar. Jiangling feels its immense power. Prepare to engage in combat. She immediately dashes forward, a blur of purple lightning. Leaping into the air, she shouts, "You are underestimating us too much." Her spear glows with a crackling purple energy. That velocity has probably surpassed the speed of sound. Xiao Chu gasps. Jiangling is sent flying back, but she is not done yet. She pulls out a high-tech pistol. She flips upside down in mid-air, firing at point blank. A massive blast of purple energy erupts. This monster is completely engulfed in the light. This beam slams into the creature. Pushing it back, its head is smoking, but it is still standing. Jiangling lands, the monster finally collapsing. Xiao Chu speaks. "A very risky attack. Is this your usual fighting style?" She replies. "How can you obtain great results without risking your life?" He just says it makes sense. She is surprised he agreed so easily, but then her eyes catch something on the ground. This monster's face is revealed. It was a human. She recognizes him. Christian. Geez, that's rough. Xiao Chu asks if she knew him. She explains he was a level 6 professional whose team went missing here. She wonders what is wrong with this realm, and just then, more of them appear down the hall. One of the monsters roars. Leading the charge, Xiao Chu and Jiangling rush to meet them. She leaps high into the air, channeling lightning into her spear. She slams the spear down into the ground. A massive shockwave of purple lightning erupts outwards. She stands in the center of the storm, wiping out the horde. But one of them lunges through the attack. It swipes at her, but she blocks with her spear. Dark energy tendrils erupt around her as she holds her ground. She unleashes a torrent of purple lightning. This monster is torn completely in two. Jiangling stands over the corpse. Now that they're monsters, their strength and agility have massively increased. She adds, but without inhalations. They're the same old harmless monsters. But then she glances back. Xiao Chu is already carving through the rest of the horde. He moves like a whirlwind of steel. Another monster falls before his blade. His eyes are cold and focused. He unleashes a final flurry of strike. This chamber is filled with dismembered bodies, but two more stand at the far end. Xiao Chu looks at the corpses. "I checked, and they're all hunters that came to clear this secret realm." Jiangling is confused. She says, "I don't get it." Xiao Chu's expression is grim. This is not good. These two remaining monsters stand before a strange pillar. They are not attacking. They are guarding it. These two creatures turn to face each other, and then they kneel before the pillar. Jiangling realizes what is happening. An altar? What are they trying to summon? This altar erupts with a sinister red light. This energy pulses, growing stronger. Jiangling watches in horror. A crushing pressure fills the room. She can barely breathe. She knows she has to stop it. She charges forward in a blur of purple. Her spear flies through the air, aimed straight for the ritual. This monster is forced to its knees, crackling with purple energy. But then a pair of glowing red eyes appear in the darkness. This eyes narrow, as if giving a command. A wave of red energy slams down on the crocodile monster. Jiangling is confused. What were they trying to summon also? Those eyes, they were looking at us. Xiao Chu explains. Those belong to the monster gods in the void, and right now they are looking at us, he adds. After all, we're old acquaintances, man? Our boy has some serious history, and just like that, they are out of the realm. Two portals open in a peaceful green field. This whole team is reunited, standing outside the portals. This bald soldier is hyped. Later, what kind of boss was it? It must have been very strong. But she dismisses him. We'll talk about this later. I need to head back to the military city immediately. Her team is left speechless and a little concerned. A cane taps the ground. A voice says, that will not be necessary. I am here. This entire group turns around, surprised by the voice. It is the High Commander. He greets them with a smile. He walks towards them, flanked by a squad of law enforcers. Geez, this looks serious. One of the soldiers is terrified. Hi. Commander, sir, did you bring the law enforcers with you? This commander reassures him, "Don't worry about it. This is no matter of yours." He turns his attention to Xiao Chu, "But it is something you should be worried about, Xiao Chu," he continues. "Or should I say, the murderer of Dahi City's massacre, Xiao Qiu." Damn, he actually said it. This entire team turns to stare at Xiao Qiu, completely stunned. These soldiers start talking amongst themselves. "Yao Qiu EU, that's why I thought his name sounded familiar. I heard it from the TVs." This blonde soldier confirms it. "I've already done a background check on him. I do not know how he got here, but he's undoubtedly the murderer." Zhang Ling just stares at him, her expression unreadable. Xiaochu just smirks. He says, "That's right." He confirms it without hesitation. "I am the Xiao Qiu you mentioned." This blonde soldier is thrilled. "Look again, that man is Xiao Qiu. I knew I was on the right track." Xiaochu faces the commander. "What now? Are you going to arrest me and send me to Star City?" This commander lays out the law. An escaped inmate must be returned to the repentance camp. But he pauses. He clarifies that the federal law is after him, not the N3 military city. This entire team is just confused. This commander then says something shocking. "I did a thorough investigation and I think you did good. If I were in your shoes, I would do the same." He even adds that he might have done more. He praises Xiao Chu as an upstanding person. He then orders everyone to drop the matter. "I do not want anyone bringing this matter up in the N3 military city from now on." And he adds a threat. "Or I'll have to ask them to leave my city." Man, that's a serious warning. These two groups stand apart in the field. The tension is broken. Zhang Ling approaches the commander. "Teacher, a word, please." This rest of the team watches them go. Wondering what happened in the realm, this bald soldier is curious, but too scared to ask Xiao Chu. Zhang Ling asks her teacher about the altar. "Do you have any idea what the altar was about and why the monsters were praying?" His answer is short and chilling. "Monster gods." She is stunned. "Monster gods? You mean higher being for the monsters? I'm surprised that they have their own gods." He explains that despite clearing thousands of realms daily, humanity has not conquered the front line, and it is all because of the source. He says clearing realms is a temporary fix. As long as the source exists, new realms will spawn endlessly. She asks why they do not just eliminate the source. This commander reveals the truth. The source of the secret realms are the monster gods. They are the masters of the monster altar you saw inside the secret realm. The secret realms that took us everything to destroy were mere breaths for them, Jiang Ling realizes. This commander explains. "We humans are not sheep waiting to be slaughtered, but there was only one man who could kill a monster god." Jiang Ling knows exactly who he means. She says, "The masked man." He lays out the grim situation. "Now that we've discovered an altar, the gradual awakening of a monster god is almost guaranteed." He paints a terrifying picture of a future monster wave. Thousands of monsters will pour out. All the military cities will go down one by one. Jiang Ling looks horrified. He adds that even with the masked man, the casualties were immeasurable. He gives her a new mission. "Do not go into the secret realms. I want you to send them to other military cities." He smiles, telling her it is time she took a break. "If you live life like a robot every single day, you won't be able to be human once again." She starts to object. "Teacher, I'm not." But he cuts her off, looking at her team. "I want you to take Xiao Qiu for the delivery of the letters." He has one more piece of advice. Now that Xiao Qiu's identity is exposed, you should at least hide his face. Jiang Ling looks over at our boy, she says. "Let's prepare a mask for him." This scene shifts to a vast desert. A vehicle kicks up a massive cloud of dust. It is a heavily armored train, barreling through the wasteland. Inside, Jiang Ling sits alone while the soldiers play cards. Xiao Chu sits apart from them, now wearing a black mask. This bald soldier tries to break the ice. "How do you feel about sitting on the frontline exclusive vehicle, the armored train?" He boasts about its capabilities. "Even if there's no available tracks, it will make one for you." This other soldiers are tired of hearing it. Yeah, we've heard this many times from you already." This blonde soldier wonders about their mission. "I don't understand what information is so important. This is too primitive." This bald soldier guesses it is highly classified. "It's not like the monsters will steal the information through our interweb, will they?" Suddenly, the entire train car jolts. This men look up as someone climbs down a ladder. A soldier spots a jeep outside. He yells, "Humans spotted at point 244. A soldier mans a heavy gun on a moving vehicle. Another soldier explains the situation. "This is already the territory of M2 military city. They must have been slacking off because now the monsters are coming out from the secret realms. We get some lore. If realms are not cleared, monsters escape and cause world-ending events." Meanwhile, a military jeep speeds through the desert. A soldier stands in the back, taking aim with a bow. His arrow finds its mark in a three-headed wolf. But there are plenty more where that came from. This soldier complains about the lack of intel and his dwindling magic. He panics. "This is bad. I have no more arrows." Suddenly, he looks up in alarm. A massive wolf monster lunges right for him, but a single fiery bullet cuts through the air. It blows the monster's head clean off. This archer is relieved. He shouts, We have reinforcements. He looks back to see an armored train, but the train's cannon opens fire, and the shells land right next to their jeep. Man, what a betrayal. This explosion sends their vehicle flying. This archer is in disbelief. He asks why they would do that. A sharp beak fills the frame. A massive bird-like monster descends from the sky. It slams down on their overturned jeep, but a shot rings out, hitting the creature in the head. This monster collapses next to the smoking wreck. This soldiers crawl out from under the vehicle, barely alive. This soldier realizes the truth. They were trying to save us. This armored train grinds to a halt in the desert. A side door slides open. This entire team leaps out and sprints towards the fight. This soldier tries to warn them. Do not engage. There's too many of them. We can't fight them all. He watches them go, completely bewildered, but they are already cutting a path through the wolf pack. He is in awe of their strength. These people are way too strong. A woman with white hair and a spear takes on 3 wolves at once. Xiaochu slices through a dozen monsters in a single move. This soldier corrects himself. No, it's the leading male and female that's too strong. A wolf is torn apart by a blast of purple energy. This white-haired woman gives her orders. Carry the injured to the train and remain ordered while cleaning up the battlefield. This battlefield is littered with the bodies of dead wolves. This soldier thanks her and asks if they are from N3 Military City. This bald soldier is confused. Who? How did you find out? We are from N3. This soldier explains he has heard of their team, a strong lightning wielder with a spear and a mask. He then gestures to Xiaochu. However, that man seems to be just as strong as your leader. I have never heard of a man that strong from your city. This blonde soldier stammers, unsure how to answer. This bald soldier quickly covers for him. His name is Xiao Kuaiyu and is a new recruit in our city. He's strong, ain't he? This soldier nods. I have not heard of him, but very soon he'll probably be just as famous as your team leader. This blonde soldier asks what happened. The soldier explains their team of 15 was ambushed by a horde of monsters. He angrily blames the office for not noticing the broken realm seals. Zhang Ling asks for clarification. He confirms that realms are spawning more frequently and monsters are escaping. Zhang Ling's expression is grim. She wonders if this is a sign that the monster wave is coming. A woman in a gas mask gives an order. Let's move. We have to get to M2 Military City as soon as we can. We see the M2 Military City, a fortress in the middle of a vast desert. 2 soldiers stand guard on the city wall. One using binoculars. He is worried. I saw a lot of teams moving out, but the teams that return every day are always less. His partner tries to reassure him, but the first soldier just says, I hope that's true. He suddenly looks up, surprised by something he sees. He spots the armored train approaching. His partner tells him to get ready to open the gate. A flag operator on the wall signals for the train to stop for a security check, but his face twists in horror. A massive metal object plummets from the sky. It smashes into the ground right in front of the city walls. This object is a giant cross, now half buried in the sand. A squad of soldiers cautiously approaches the wreckage. A hatch on the structure creaks open. This dark opening waits. A body is tossed out onto the sand. The soldiers are stunned. It is a hunter, clutching a bloody knife. A massive clawed foot steps out of the structure. A giant mantis-like monster reveals itself. Behind it, the dark entryway of the structure looms, and inside, more shapes begin to stir. A swarm of smaller insect monsters pours out. They descend on the soldiers. One panics. Fuck, I didn't bring any weapons. Man, bad time to be unarmed. But another soldier opens fire with a heavy machine gun. He mows down the first wave of insects. Meanwhile, a city burns, overrun by giant insect monsters. A massive swarm darkens the sky as explosions rock the buildings below. One of the insectoid creatures looks on, its compound eyes reflecting the chaos. This burning city is reflected in its multifaceted eye. Back on the train, they continue their journey through the desert. A soldier asks Jiang Ling, later, Jiang, are you suspecting that the monsters will attack our military city? Another soldier dismisses the idea. That's impossible. The monsters don't have the intelligence to attack a human habitat. She points out their commander is a Class 7 hunter, and the monsters lack the numbers for a full-scale assault. She looks out the window. Let's hope you're right. But she thinks to herself that even a Class 9 hunter could die in battle. Suddenly, her eyes widen. In the distance, she sees smoke and fire rising from the horizon. This entire team rushes to the window. That is the M2 Military City. A distress call crackles over the radio. This is M2 Military City. I repeat, this is M2 Military City. This voice is frantic. The city is currently in a state of emergency. We are under attack by monsters and they're invading the city as we speak. They plead for anyone listening to send help immediately. Then the final transmission comes through. The High Commander died in battle. The M2 Military City has fallen. Geez, that's bad. Outside the walls of the city are engulfed in flames. A huge explosion rips through the city's defenses. This team is stunned into silence. Xiaochu states the obvious. M2 Military City has fallen. Zhang Ling realizes what this means. The monster wave. She immediately gives an order. Do not change directions. Continue straight to M2 Military City. This bald soldier protests, but she turns to face him. Ooh, said we're going into the city. She clarifies their new mission. We are going to rescue the people who escaped from the city and see if we can get information on the damn thing that destroyed the M2 military city. A soldier punches the wall in frustration. This bald soldier tries to lighten the mood. Hey, everyone, did you notice that something cool has happened? He points at Xiao Chu. Xiao Q, wearing a mask, makes him look like the masked with his height and figure. This other soldiers start joking around. No kidding, he really looks like the real masked man. This bald soldier puts his arm around Xiao Chu. What do you think? Xiao Chu, you feel like the real masked man. Xiao Chu just smirks. I am the masked man. This entire squad just stares at him in stunned silence. Then the bald soldier bursts out laughing. Well, ain't it an honor to meet you? You have to give me a signature. Zhang Ling gives Xiao Chu a look. Ha! Be sure to not disappoint everyone with your new identity now. Xiao Q, you. She turns to look out the window of the speeding train. Outside, the ruins of M2 Military City are still burning, and a swarm of giant insect monsters fills the sky. Zhongling watches them approach. Are those the bugs that destroyed the M2 Military City? Suddenly, she spots a group of people running in the distance. A small band of survivors is fleeing across the desert. Chased by the swarm, these insects are gaining on them fast. Jiang Ling immediately draws her pistol and opens fire. 3 blasts of purple energy tear through the closest monsters. She then summons her spear, which crackles with lightning. She plants her foot firmly on the ground and hurls the spear with all her might. It becomes a bolt of pure energy. Piercing through an insect, this lightning arcs through the air. Chaining between the monsters, it detonates in a massive explosion of purple light. This blast vaporizes a huge portion of the swarm. This ground is now littered with smoking insect corpses. Damn, what a move. This ground is covered in the remains of insect monsters. Zhang Ling's team approaches a group of survivors in the desert. One of the men thanks them for their help. Zhang Ling asks about the situation in M2. He tells them the city is gone, completely destroyed. I advise you to rethink if so. There are no survivors there. The place has become a world for monsters, and even our high commander, he died in battle. He describes the creature that killed him, a humanoid insect that ended the fight in 30 seconds. He pleads with them. Lizzes, do not go. You're sending yourselves to die if you do. Zhang Ling is silent, just staring. Then she suddenly throws her spear. It zips right past the man's head. He is terrified. He asks what she is doing. Her own teammate questions her actions. She gives her cold assessment. These people are escaped convicts. These survivors are stunned into silence. Her teammate tries to de-escalate. The lead survivor denies everything and says they should work together. But Zhang Ling has already figured it out. They killed the hunters that were protecting these civilians. She points out they are not even holding their weapons correctly. That is because they stole them from the people they killed. She puts her spear to his throat. The wound on your ear is from a bullet. You probably got it when the person you tried to murder fought back. Damn, she is sharp. This man is cornered, his face a mask of rage. He and another convict decide to attack. Zhang Ling's spear glows with purple energy in a single blinding flash. She cuts them both down. This last survivor turns and runs in terror. He has one last idea. I have no choice but to hold these civilians hostage if I want to live. He turns around, only to find the civilians are already dead. A spear flies through the air, taking his head clean off. This soldier who was saved earlier says that explains why he did not recognize them. One of the team members asks if they are still going to M2. Zhang Ling says no, it is too dangerous with this many people. But another soldier reports a problem. The train's engine is damaged from being overworked. Suddenly, a hand goes up. Someone offers to try and fix it. A young woman with blonde hair nervously introduces herself as a mechanic, and just like that, the train's smokestack starts chugging again. This soldier is amazed, calling her a master mechanic. She brushes it off as luck and compliments their team instead. Zhang Ling approaches the young mechanic and asks for her name. She snaps a salute. Evany Clark. She declares her dream is to be the best super mechanic. Thanks to Evelyn Clark, the armor train is back on the move. This team gathers around a map to decide their new destination. A soldier explains that Army Camp L4 is closer, but it means passing through the monster-infested north side of M2. So the group decides to head for Army Camp Y5, a longer but safer 5-day journey. Xiao Chu counters, reminding them they only have 2 days of fuel left. With civilians on board, running out of fuel is not an option. They have to take the risk and head for L4. Xiao Chu sits alone against a wall, lost in thought. Zhang Ling walks up to him. She asks why he was so insistent on going to L4. She gets right to the point. You couldn't possibly have already known that the train didn't have much fuel left. Xiao Chu remembers his past life. A city burns as he recalls failing to save the U area. Zhang Ling watches him, waiting for an answer he does not give. She turns away, making her own conclusion. He is a righteous person. She seems to be thinking about what that word even means in this world. A close-up on her eye shows her deep in thought. We see a flashback to a giant insect flying over a burning city, and it is a horrifying hybrid creature with a human torso fused to its body. Geez, that's brutal. This flashback continues, showing giant insects swarming over the ruined city walls. A blade flashes, slicing one of the bugs clean in two, and there it is, the humanoid insect monster, standing over a fallen soldier with a scythe. It sits among the ruins, casually reading a newspaper, as you do. It seems to be learning, sounding out words. The moon, the sun. Its compound eyes reflect the sky above. It puts the pieces together. Humanity, its four wings flare with a teal aura. It slams its weapon into the ground, sending out a powerful shockwave. This flashback ends, and we're back to the present, with the swarm still in the sky, on the train. The rescued civilians huddle together in fear. A soldier tries to calm them down. There's no need to be so scared. We've been staying close to the edge of Army Camp M2, and won't attract the attention of the monsters within its perimeter. Xiaochu looks out the window. The cloud of black smoke has been getting larger. I wonder how much they've burned. What's happened to Army Camp M2? His words do not seem to comfort the civilians. One of them points outside, his face pale with terror. That doesn't look like smoke. He is right, it is not smoke. It is a biblical plague of insects, and leading them is the humanoid insect monster from the flashback. This bald soldier runs to Zhongling. Captain, I've seen it. She knows exactly what he means. Monster that killed the commander of Army Camp M2 is there. I don't even know if I'll survive, much less get everyone to Army Camp L4 safely. Her eye reflects the approaching monster and its swarm, and in its multifaceted eye, it reflects her. They have locked onto each other. This monster speaks its purpose aloud. Exterminate humanity. It reaches out and grabs one of its own insect minions. It crushes the creature's head in its hand. Then it rips the bug apart. A spray of green blood marking the air. Geez, that's a statement. A humanoid mantis monster stands over a swarm. It has humanity locked on as its target. This creature launches itself into the air. It smashes into something with incredible force. This armored train is sent flying off the tracks. Damn. Inside, the civilians are thrown into chaos. Evelyn, the mechanic, falls towards an open door. This door slams shut just as she is about to fall out. But someone catches her. It is Xiaochu. He lands outside with her. Jiangling is there too. Xiaochu sets Evelyn down safely. This entire train lies derailed in the desert. Jiangling and Xiaochu brace themselves. Zhongling's eyes are focused under her mask. They dig their feet into the ground and they push the massive train back onto its tracks. Holy cow. Evelyn stares in disbelief. My god, the 10,000-ton armored train was pushed over just like that. This other survivors are stunned. The bald soldier says, amazing, amazing. Zhongling rallies her team. Everyone, defend the train. She turns to Evelyn. Engineer, repair any damaged wheels, check the train for faults, and prepare to break out. Zhongling thinks about her priorities. The lives of civilians are insignificant, but we cannot lose the armored train. Geez, that's cold. She looks at the swarm. Only by saving the strong first will we be able to discuss the future. She summons her spear, crackling with purple energy. She hurls it straight into the approaching swarm. It erupts in a massive explosion of lightning. This blast tears through the insect monsters, clearing a path. Jiangling slices through the insect swarm with her lightning spear. Her soldiers are stunned. Shh, is she really only class 6? One of them says even their class 7 commander could not fight this easily. This bald soldier tells them to focus on the stragglers. Our leader is most certainly a class 6 hunter, but not for long. Suddenly, a humanoid monster with large wings creates massive explosions. A survivor on the train points in terror. That's it. That's the monster. He says it is the one that killed the high commander, man. This is the guy. Zhongling and Xiaochu stand ready to face the new threat. This ground erupts as the monster moves with blinding speed. Zhongling leaps into the air to meet it head-on. This mantis creature just stands there with its arms crossed. She drives her lightning spear right at its chest, but her spear passes right through a shadowy afterimage. She turns in shock. The real monster is now behind her. It was just too fast. Her eyes widen. Fast. This monster kicks off the ground, shattering the earth. It lands a huge distance away in an instant. Zhongling is left standing in a deep crater. Her team screams out her name. Later, this monster dives back towards her from the sky. Its arm begins to glow with a green energy. It transforms into a massive scythe blade. This creature swings its blade arm down with incredible force. Jiangling is slammed hard against the crater wall, but Jiangling manages to block the scythe with her spear. Sparks fly as the blade grinds against the shaft of her weapon. Her eyes widen in shock. She is barely holding on. Suddenly, a volley of sharp projectiles cuts through the air. This blast sends both of them flying in opposite directions. This attack carves a massive trench through the forest. Zhongling lands safely and sees Xiaochu standing there. She asks his name. He tells her, "Let me deal with it. You and the others finish off the remaining monsters." She asks how he plans to do that. She watches him walk off. Don't you dare go dying. This mantis monster is sent tumbling through the trees. Xiaochu lands hard on the ground, ready for a fight. This monster recovers in a clearing, steam rising around it. A huge path of destruction now separates them from the rest of the group. This monster turns to face Xiaochu. Human, it stares at him. You have our scent. Same, Xiaochu walks forward, thinking to himself. Monster, human. A piece of his mask falls away. It's neither. A dark aura begins to swirl around his blade. the shadows completely envelop him. He transforms into a demonic armored figure. It's more accurate to describe me as a freak. He looks at his new form. I can finally show my true power, Blood Crow. I'm sure you're thinking the same thing too. Right. This monster, Blood Crow, is suddenly overcome with fear. It thinks to itself, I have to make the first move. Blood Crow launches itself forward with all 6 of its wings. It closes the distance in an instant, ready to strike. A fist connects hard with an armored face. This impact sends a massive shockwave through the ground. A cloud of dust and debris obscures the view. This golden mantis monster stands in the smoke, seemingly unharmed. An armored fist is still pressed against its face. This armored figure speaks, is that everything you have? This mantis monster readies its own attack. It unleashes a storm of green energy slashes. This attack causes a huge explosion in the forest, but the armored figure catches its fist mid-swing. Enough. Its glowing pink eyes narrow. It's my turn. This mantis monster looks genuinely surprised. This armored figure is reflected in its compound eyes. A blade of dark energy erupts from the monster's chest. This armored figure stands over the body, holding a long sword. A system message pops up. Goad Chawson monster exterminated. This armored figure looks down at the corpse. The monster belonged to the god of treacherous wisdom. Green energy flows into the sword. Blood Crow is absorbing the god's blood and evolving, so that's Xiao Chu. This green energy swirls violently around the blade. A single menacing red eye opens within the vortex. Blood Crow has a new skill, Crow Wave, which turns it into a swarm of crows. Xiao Chu in his monster form looks at his sword. You got stronger again. This ground is littered with the remains of the insect swarm. The survivors watch from the train. A soldier reports to Jiang Ling. Later, the insects in the sky were completely eradicated. No injured or dead among the people that hid in the train. Another soldier asks about Xiao Chu. Later, Xiao. What happened to Xiao Chu? Do you think he sacrificed himself by luring the monster away to save us? Jiang Ling is left completely speechless. One of her men turns around, shouting that Xiao Chu is back, and from the dark woods, Xiao Chu emerges alone. He walks towards them, sword in hand, his face unreadable behind his mask. This bald soldier asks if he took care of the monster. Xiao Chu just says, yeah, this soldier is sweating. Does that mean your actual level is above class 7? All that is left is a massive gash in the earth where the monster once stood. Back on the train, Evelyn is tending to the wounded in another car. Jiang Ling and Xiao Chu sit in a tense silence. She finally breaks it. Thank you for just now. He looks over, asking what for. She thanks him for saving her life. He tells her not to worry about it. She says his growth makes no sense, comparing him to the legendary masked man. She continues. You've surpassed what a human can achieve in the blink of an eye. Just then, Evelyn runs in with bad news. The wireless communication system is down. Jiang Ling tells her to get to the point. Evelyn explains. I think something is blocking the signal. And not just that. That very thing is also stopping us from receiving any signals from outside. She says it is like they are on a deserted island. Suddenly, Xiao Chu's senses flare up. A strange black line of energy appears before him. He sees a system notification, a new mainline mission, Monster Wave. This mission is to stop a wave led by a monster god. The reward is a half-monster god transformation man. Xiao Chu's eyes widen as he processes the insane stakes. This armored train continues its journey through the desolate landscape, and then, a crackle from the radio. A voice says, "This is L4BZZT City." Evelyn gets on the radio. She reports that they are an N3 military team with survivors from M2. A voice responds from L4 Military City. Please come quickly to our city for protection. Repeat, this is the signal tower of L4 Military City. Evelyn tells the group they will arrive in 3 hours and can refuel. This soldiers and survivors are relieved. They talk about finally being able to relax in a safe city, but then the radio crackles with a single word. Don't. A new voice cuts in. Do not believe BZT message from L4 Military City. BZT, they are monsters. The garbled message concludes chillingly. Evelyn is stunned. The monsters are the own sending the message from L4 how? How is that possible? Jiang Ling realizes the intelligent monsters they fought were a sign of this. She grabs the radio handset herself. She demands to know who is speaking. Oh, are you? How did you know it was the monsters that sent the message from L4? This voice explains they are survivors. L4 was destroyed 2 days ago by monsters with human intelligence. A soldier is horrified. Class 8 hunters have the hero tile and are hailed as the peak of human existence, and 3 of them died all at once. The military city is a trap. Our position is E595211-262.64. A voice announces on the radio. This original L4 message cuts back in. Armored train. Please respond if you could. This 2 voices broadcast at the same time, one begging them to come. The other screaming not to respond. A survivor whispers. Do not, a surviving soldier screams. This survivors join the debate. Some think the campsite is a trap. Others think the city is a lie. Jiang Ling listens to the arguments in silence. She finally turns to Xiao Chu. She asks what he thinks. Xiao Chu crosses his arms. We go to neither. Xiao Chu tells her because both of them are traps. He explains the front line fell because monsters gained intelligence from the god Treacherous Wisdom. These new monsters learn to mimic, trick, and even enslave humans. Xiaochu remembers that in his past life. L4 City did not fall so quickly. He realizes his failure to control the monster gods in this timeline caused this. He wonders if this is a butterfly effect he caused. Things are moving in a direction he does not understand. He closes his eyes, bracing himself for what is to come. He resolves, he thinks, it won't be worse than the ending of my last life. With only 4 hours of fuel left, they decide to head for a makeshift campsite. When they arrive, they see it was indeed built by humans. A group of soldiers comes out to greet them, claiming to be L4 survivors, but it was all a lie. They had become puppets for the monsters. Their job was to lure other humans into a trap. But before they could even launch their attack, Xiaochu moved first. He unleashes a swarm of red energy crows, wiping them out instantly. They cleared the camp, but Evelyn's 4 team members had already died. She is devastated. A journal entry details their plans to head to A1 Military City. A girl with silver hair and a gas mask closes the journal. We get a close-up of her determined eyes. She is sitting with Xiaochu. She says L4's communications were also cut off. She asks if he really thinks monsters have those traits. He confirms that some are now intelligent. He explains that the god Treacherous Wisdom is not powerful, so it relies on intelligence. Its chosen monsters mimic human methods to destroy humanity. A sudden whoosh echoes through the air, and something is kicking up a massive cloud of dust in the distance. A soldier reports to his leader. This leader, a woman with a white ponytail and a gas mask, peers through binoculars. She sees a colossal dust storm rolling across the wasteland, and within it, a horde of monstrous creatures marches forward. This sky above them is swarming with winged beasts. She reports that thousands of monsters are heading for A1 Military City, just like them. Another soldier spots something else approaching. A massive convoy of armored military vehicles speeds across the desert. Their cannons light up, unleashing a volley of fire. This monster horde on the ground is engulfed in fiery explosions. This sky lights up as the flying creatures are blown apart. This female leader is impressed by their teamwork. She says the monsters will be wiped out soon. Meanwhile, the armored train continues its journey. This bald soldier waves from the train, shouting that allies have finally arrived. A soldier from the convoy approaches. Greetings, we are from N3's military city. But then his squad raises their rifles. No one move. Zhongling's team is stunned by the sudden hostility. A man with gray hair and a large sword steps forward, clearly in charge. This bald soldier tries to reason with him, but the man accuses them of betraying humanity. He points his sword at them, saying they came from the monster horde's direction unscathed. Just then, a new voice cuts in. No need to panic, I know them. A blonde man in a bloodstained suit appears, looking weary. This scene shifts to a massive walled compound, the A1 Military City Quarantine Facility, a camp for suspected traitors. A1 Military City's policy is simple. Any survivor from the outside is a potential traitor. A blonde man in a suit addresses them. I see you all came a long way. He explains to Zhongling that N3 City was evacuated before the monsters hit, leaving behind a city full of traps. Zhongling realizes the situation must be dire for them to abandon such an expensive city. This man explains their quarantine is a precaution, since they came from the same direction as the monster horde. She grabs the bars, asking why the monsters suddenly have human-level intelligence. He suspects a monster god is behind it, and suggests she might be the one to find the answer. He tells her to wait a few days. After her release, he will assign her a new mission. He turns and walks away, leaving her alone in her cell. She wonders if she can really find the answer he spoke of. Her eyes narrow with determination. Later, in their cell, she finds Xiaochu studying a large map. She asks what he is looking for. He is trying to find a mountain with a hot spring, maybe a dead volcano. Xiaochu remains silent, deep in thought. A news report on a small screen announces that new supplies and officials have arrived at the front line. A group of men in suits and masks stand at a podium, promising the Union is prepared for the monster wave. Zhongling scoffs at the display, but admits it is good the Class 8 hunters came personally. Just then, 2 guards appear at their cell with new orders. Their quarantine is over. One of them holds a weapon. Gather at the assembly field. The counterattack is today. They are handed their weapons back for verification. Jiangling is suspicious. They are being sent to battle before their investigation is even finished. Xiaochu requests a specific person for his team, even Yi Clark. The guard agrees to arrange it. We see 2 hardened-looking men in orange prison jumpsuits. Xiaochu and Jiangling stand in a massive yard, facing an army of prisoners in orange. This guard explains they are out of options. Their new team is the entire redemption camp. Man, talk about a suicide squad. Jiangling says more people is pointless without morale or discipline. A man holds out a box of radios, telling them not to worry. He explains the radios work within 3 kilometers, but Jiangling says that is not her concern. Xiaochu takes one. The man says they get special privileges and can choose their own post. He suggests the northwest area, the direction of the monster assault. Xiaochu immediately says they will head there. Jiangling is shocked. This man sweats, asking if he is serious. He yells that it is the highest risk area and is about to be abandoned. Xiaochu knows. He demands maps and miniature nuclear bombs as a trade-off. Jiangling backs him up, telling the man to do as he says. This man is completely stunned by their decision. He relents. All right then, don't regret it when the time comes. He promises to get their supplies immediately. Jiang Ling asks Xiao Chu if this is to force the convicts to fight. He says correct. She still thinks it is too risky. She says they will not be able to defend themselves and will fall. Xiao Chu just looks ahead, his expression unreadable. Evelyn watches them leave. Whether we win or fall, it's up to the efforts of you and her. 2 hours later, Evelyn is panicking. No way, not a chance. We'll D for sure. They are at a strange tree-like structure with a glowing core. She despairs over defending it with convicts. Xiao Chu watches the convicts unload supplies. He tells her they will not know until they try. He hands a convict a box with a miniature nuke inside, asking if he knows how to set it up. He gives Evelyn a map, telling 2 other convicts to go with Jiang Ling to the marked locations. This convicts look at him with defiance and contempt. Xiao Chu walks towards the rest of the convicts. His boots kick up dust as he approaches. He stands before them. Very good, I am satisfied with the gaze from you scumbags. One of the prisoners cocks his gun. Motherfucker, are you trying to get us all killed? He points it at Xiao Chu. We behaved ourselves when we were still in prison just now, so you better do the right thing at this moment. He grins and puts an arm around our boy, saying, of course. He makes a disgusting offer. If you let us have those 2 babes over there, we can let you go. This silver-haired girl's eyes narrow with fury. A blur of purple energy shoots across the ground. This prisoner's face fills with shock, and then with absolute terror. This silver-haired girl stands over his fallen men. She asks Xiao Chu if he minds if she kills one. He tells her not to ask next time. This prisoner leader chokes on his own blood. She swings her glowing spear, finishing him off. This other prisoners raise their rifles in alarm. This spear slams into the ground with a crack. A wave of purple lightning erupts from the impact. This remaining prisoners look on, completely stunned. Xiao Chu gives them a choice. Follow my command or die right here, right now. He explains that they are surrounded by monsters and the only way out is blocked by the military. A sudden noise cuts through the air. This whole group turns towards the sound, on high alert. Through a pair of binoculars, a massive battle rages. A huge monster tears a soldier apart. This view shows monsters completely overrunning the human forces. This blonde woman lowers the binoculars. The defense line, it's getting breached by monsters. We're surrounded by monsters on all sides. This prisoners panic, screaming that Xiao Chu is sending them to their death. Xiao Chu lays out the grim reality, but if you listen to my command, I will lead you to a path of survival and create a miracle. This prisoners are left speechless by his declaration. Xiao Chu lays out the rules over the radio, telling them the walkie-talkies are more important than their lives. He begins directing the teams across the battlefield. He asks Evelyn about the miniature nukes. She confirms they are ready to be placed. Suddenly, his radio crackles with static. A panicked voice reports that B team has encountered a lot of monsters. This team is in full retreat, screaming that they are done for. Xiao Chu calmly orders B team to fall back, then gives new coordinates to D team. D team questions his orders, wondering how he could possibly know where the enemies are. They run through the woods as instructed. They arrive at a riverbank, meeting up with another team and across the water. A horde of skeletal monsters appears, just as predicted. This convicts are stunned that he was right. This team leader gives the order to throw their grenades. This other side of the river erupts in a massive explosion, but a single skeletal monster emerges from the flames unscathed. It stands defiantly on the opposite bank. This monster lets out a furious roar. Xiao Chu gives his next command, telling a team to detonate their mines. A second, even larger explosion engulfs the monster horde. From a high vantage point, Xiao Chu calmly directs the flow of battle. His teams are positioned perfectly on the cliffs and slopes. This monster hordes are being funneled exactly where he wants them. This convicts watch in awe, wondering how he knew where the monsters would gather. A new thought dawns on them. If they follow his commands, they might actually survive. This convicts on the cliffs start throwing grenades. This valley erupts in a massive fiery explosion. This convicts cheer, celebrating their victory. After finishing their bait and kill missions, all the teams return to the peak. Under Xiao Chu's plan, Jiang Ling uses her power to detonate the nukes. This explosion causes the dead volcano to collapse. A massive torrent of water gushes out. It sweeps away everything in its path. Rocks, trees, and monsters, and just like that, the miracle he promised happened. Meanwhile, the military generals are stunned. They learn a team of convicts stopped the monster advance, but they cannot accept it. So they give all the credit to some politician named Song Ming. This convicts thought they were getting a reward, but they were just thrown back in prison. When they found out their credit was stolen, they were furious. This gave the guards the perfect excuse to put them down for an attempted riot. Geez, that's cold. This scene shifts to the A1 military city commander's mansion. This commander asks Song Ming about the prison riot. Song Ming asks, "Didn't I transport them back from the front line? Why did you have them killed?" This commander says they are just trouble, and that they reaped what they sowed. He adds that he will have people watch over Xiao Chu's team. He warns Song Ming that he despises smartasses who do not know their place. This commander then asks about the special weapons Song Ming promised. Song Ming just smiles. If everything went according to the plan, the weapon should be already there. Cut to the front line, where soldiers are dug in, and one of them is holding a very familiar-looking spear. Meanwhile, at the front lines, the monster horde charges forward. These soldiers holding the line are sweating nervously. A commander yells for everyone to retreat to the second line of defense. A soldier protests, but the commander says it is an order from the top. Suddenly, a massive foot lands beside them, and a new voice tells them to scram. An army of enhanced soldiers marches onto the field, flanked by scientists. They are huge, covered in black suits with red masks and vials on their backs. A scientist gives one of them the all clear. All checks are done. You're good to go. This lead soldier says it is time to go. One of them cracks his knuckles, getting ready for the fight. A symbol on his arm lights up, starting injection. This red liquid in the vials on his back begins to drain into his body. He groans as red veins bulge across his chest. This drug pulses through his system. Steam rises from his body as he finishes powering up. His red visor glows with an intense light. This enhanced soldiers leap into battle, swords drawn. They charge headfirst into the swarm of monsters. This scientists watch, calling them lunatics for injecting the drugs so early. They are called humanoid weapons as they tear the monsters apart. This regular soldiers are stunned. I can't tell which side are the real monsters. One of the super soldiers cuts down a half-dozen beasts in a single swing. He scoffs. Too weak. These monsters aren't even good enough for a warm-up. He turns to face another one of his comrades. From above, we see them carving a bloody path through the horde. A soldier grabs the scientist. They rushed into the monster wave. Are they out of their minds? This scientist calmly pushes him away. Suicide, you're joking. He adjusts his collar with a smirk. Staying here means limiting their true potential. This regular soldier is just left speechless. Meanwhile, one of the enhanced soldiers stands alone against the horde. He reaches up and rips off his mask. His face is revealed to be monstrous. Wearing this is too suffocating. He taunts the monsters around him. My strength is far beyond your level. He licks his lips. I can finally show you what I can really do. I'm done playing around with sideshows. He roars, time for the second injection. He smashes a button on his gauntlet. This impact is shown again, and a third time for emphasis. This red liquid in the vials on his back begins to bubble. Red veins bulge across his face as his eyes glow with power. This vials on his back glow in intense red. His hand mutates into a massive red claw. This nearby monsters look on, sensing the change. He grabs a wolf-like monster by its snout and crushes its head in a single motion. Damn, that's brutal. He grins with a blood-soaked hand. Let the hunt begin. He swings his claw, creating a streak of red energy. He carves through the monsters with his blade and his new claw. From above, we see the enhanced soldiers cutting bloody swaths through the horde. This battlefield is already littered with the bodies of monsters. A soldier watches in disbelief. The monster wave is getting pushed back. Damn, they really did it. This lead scientist smirks. This group of test subjects is performing better than expected. He calls their experiment a success. He grins maniacally. Any normal human can be a strong hunter with some modifications and drugs. This battlefield is littered with the heads of slain monsters. This enhanced soldiers walk back through the carnage. One of them drops a massive monster head at the scientist's feet, he explains. This one was strong, and its species is rare, so I brought back this valuable specimen. This lead soldier is itching for another fight. I want to go to the next defense line immediately. He says he needs more monster blood, but the scientist tells him to stand down for a checkup. Suddenly, the ground begins to shake. The scientist wonders what is happening. His face contorts in sudden alarm. A colossal shadow rises from the battlefield. It is a giant monster with glowing red eyes. This scientist realizes in horror. No, it was formed with the monster corpses. This lead soldier is unfazed. I don't care what it is, but as long as it's a monster, I will kill it. He launches himself towards the new threat. He leaps high into the air, sword ready. He brings his blade down in a powerful red slash, but his expression turns to shock. He lands on the monster's arm, his attack having done nothing. This scientist panics. A high-energy response? It is a Class 8 monster. No, maybe a Class 9. He sweats, realizing how outmatched they are. The soldier yells at them from the monster's arm. Are you kidding me? Do you want me to die here? He steels himself. As long as I have a chance, I must try it. Watch me kill them. He slams his fist into his own chest, manually triggering an injection. But something goes wrong with the injection. This soldier's helmet shatters from the inside. His suit rips apart as his body begins to mutate. He transforms into a horned beast. One of the scientists panics. This is bad. This newly formed monster raises its claws. This regular soldiers are horrified. Monster. He turned into a monster. But then a new threat appears. A massive shadowy hand. It reaches down from the sky. This other enhanced soldier is caught completely off guard. He yells, time to die. He is lifted into the air by the giant shadow monster. He struggles against its grip. Monster's grip. I can't move it. This monster's glowing red eyes stare down at him. Its massive hand begins to close. This pressure builds. This soldier screams, no, don't. And he is crushed into nothing. The scientist is splattered with blood, completely stunned. A terrible thought dawns on him. They intentionally did it. He realizes the truth. They're killing humans for fun. This giant shadow monsters tower over the battlefield. Back at headquarters, an officer gets a frantic report, he is told. A Class 9 monster and a lot of them. This radio cuts out into static. He screams, "Damn it all," and bolts from his chair. This officer from headquarters looks out over a fortified city. Inside, a man in a suit asks, "How is it possible to have this many disasters at once?" This officer speculates that the monster gods might be involved. Or maybe the masked man. This man in the suit agrees. That's right, the monster god is attacking us personally because the mask is no longer here. He says the masked man should take the blame for the current situation. Geez, this guy is something else. This man asks for a head count of their strongest hunters. The officer gives him the numbers. He says with their forces, they should be able to hold back the monsters, but the man in the suit refuses to fight. "I am someone sent by Star City to observe military movements. Do not count me in the resistance force." This officer is completely floored by this.
Man, what a betrayal.
This man suggests using nuclear weapons, but the officer protests, saying it will cause unnecessary casualties among their own troops. This man scoffs, saying a small sacrifice is fine if it keeps the high-level hunters off the battlefield. Damn, that's cold. This officer gives in, thinking about his own safety. He agrees to arrange it immediately. On the ground, a soldier yells for everyone to get to the city wall. A soldier asks what is happening, and we see our boy and the spear-wielding woman are there. This woman looks up in alarm. A horde of giant shadowy monsters marches toward the city. Our boy seems to recognize the energy. He identifies the presence of the monster god, Treacherous Wisdom. One of the shadow monsters lets out a massive roar. Suddenly, a different, more draconic monster leaps into the battle. It lunges with its mouth wide open. This dragon monster bites down hard on a shadow monster's arm. It rips the arm clean off in a spray of blood. But the shadow monster just raises its other fist, ready to punch back. A massive black shape plummets from the sky. The soldiers on the ground can only stare up in horror. One of them screams for everyone to run. It crashes into the ground, creating a massive crater. More dark shapes fall from the clouds. They pepper the battlefield with devastating impacts. Two of the giant shadow monsters stand in the dust. Rain begins to fall across the monster's glowing red eyes. This rain streaks down its dark, imposing form. One of the giants hurls something into the air. It crashes back to the ground with incredible force. A lone soldier with two swords stands in the dust cloud. A single red eye glows from within the haze. This soldier looks up, sweating and terrified. This shadow monster looms over him. It slams its hand down, crushing him instantly. This monster lifts its hand from the crater it created. This ground is littered with the bodies of fallen soldiers, and now more monsters are crawling out of the ground. A soldier is mauled by a red beast. A massive wolf-like monster roars, but a new fighter with white hair appears, stabbing it with a purple lightning spear. A black-haired fighter joins her, asking, "Do you still have any other plans that could turn this situation on its head completely?" He replies, "Not unless you give me an hour to prepare." She tells him there is no time for that, as they are completely surrounded. A silver-haired woman in a mask faces a lion-like monster. If the both of us really do die here, there's no shame in that. Elsewhere, a white-haired warrior slams a spear down, crackling with purple lightning. This impact creates a massive explosion of energy. This spear glows with an intense purple light. This warrior lands smoothly after the attack. He stands on a high wall, looking down at the monster horde below. He removes his mask, revealing his face. "Even though I've hated my father ever since my mother passed away, I see his shadow in every part of my life." He explains his power is lightning energy, and the mask was suppressing it. He says he will never understand why his father did not save his mother. He decides it is time to go down and ask his father personally. He steps to the very edge of the wall and leaps off, diving straight into the fray. This is not suicide, he thinks, his eyes glowing with white energy. He yells that he has not surpassed his limit yet. He lands among the monsters, unleashing a torrent of purple lightning. His spear cuts through the horde with ease. He carves a path through the monsters, but a giant shadow looms behind him. Suddenly, he is blasted backwards. This giant monster's hand descends upon him. This silver-haired woman watches in horror. How is this possible? This massive hand swats him out of the air. He goes flying, screaming in pain. He crashes hard into the ground, but just before impact, a man with black hair and an eye patch catches him. This ground is shattered in a spiral around the fallen warrior. This man with the eye patch carries him to safety. He gently sets him down. "You did more than enough." This guy looks completely serious. He looks at the carnage. "It's just that a Class 8 monster is still out of your league right now." He then says, "Also, you were wrong about one thing." A dark portal opens beside him. "I do not want to die here." This sky darkens with an ominous red and black energy. Dark tendrils erupt from the ground around him. His feet transform into monstrous claws, and he transforms into a horned, armored beast. Damn, he actually did it. His glowing eyes narrow. "It's time we end this." He stands fully transformed, sword in hand. This silver-haired woman watches from the ground, completely stunned. She recognizes him. "Exiao, Qiu, But a giant shadow monster lunges to attack her. A blast of purple energy slams down, blocking its path. Xiao Chu in his monster form flies right at the giant's hand. He unleashes a web of glowing pink slashes. This hand explodes into a shower of rock and blood. This giant monster stares at its severed arm. Xiao Chu lands gracefully. A new tail whipping behind him, he swings his sword in a massive arc. A glowing red wound appears on the monster's chest, and the slash continues upward, slicing its head clean off. A massive shadow monster gets punched hard. Its head explodes into a shower of red mist. This red mist swirls through the air. It is all absorbed by a man in dark armor. The soldiers on the ground are stunned. A strong monster defeated, just like that. Back at the command post, the officer is shocked. But Mr. Song recognizes him. That's the humanoid monster that appeared in Dehi City. If I'm not mistaken, he transformed from a human. He gets a greedy look in his eye. If I can catch that one and research it in a lab, it. Just then, a report comes in over the radio. Commander, the military nuclear bombs are ready for deployment. This officer and Mr. Song look out over the battlefield, and a volley of missiles rains down from the sky. This soldiers on the ground realize the truth. They launched the nuclear weapons. Are we all just bait to gather the monsters together? Mr. Song calmly cleans his glasses. There's value in your deaths, he says. The whole Federal Union and the rest of the humanity will remember you all. Damn, that's cold. These missiles continue to fall, but a purple slash of energy cuts through the sky. It tears open a massive purple eye in the clouds. Mr. Song crushes his glasses in his hand. He stammers, "Mo, monster god." He completely loses his composure. Impossible. That's impossible. How did the monster god break through the limit of the void and appear on Earth? An explanation appears. Humanity understands there is a net between the void and Earth. Disaster-class monsters are like small fish, just big enough to squeeze through. But as for the monster gods, they are like killer sharks, too big to pass through the net. This understanding is why humanity's leaders chose a path of coexistence, the leader states opposing the Masked Man's faction. We learn the Masked Man was adamant that humanity and monster gods could not coexist. Back in the present, a volley of nuclear missiles flies through the air. They are headed straight for the monster god, Treacherous Wisdom. These missiles close in on their target, but suddenly, dark portals open up in their path. This monster god is just swallowing them whole. This man from Star City is in disbelief. It sent the nuclear bombs to another dimension with a teleportation skill. This officer panics. Monster god, is this the power of a monster god? I do not have any will to resist it. He asks Mr. Song where he is going. Mr. Song says he needs to report this world-changing event in person. This officer realizes the truth. He is trying to escape. So the officer decides to do the same, claiming he will also go report it. Man, what a coward. Back on the battlefield, someone grips a weapon. It is the spear-wielding woman, looking up in horror. This other soldiers are just as terrified. A new wave of monsters charges forward. They are spiky, shadowy beasts with glowing red eyes, but a new fighter appears, slashing with a clawed arm. He decapitates one of the beasts in a single strike. It is the soldier who mutated earlier, but he is caught by one of the giant shadow monsters. This giant lands a devastating punch. He is slammed into the ground, creating a crater. He lies broken in the rubble. His glowing eyes stare out from his horned mask. This eye of the monster god watches over his defeat. Xiao Chu stares forward, half his face covered by his monstrous mask. This giant purple eye of the monster god glares down from the sky. This silver-haired woman realizes who it is looking at. It's looking at Yao Qiu. She wonders why a monster god would pay so much attention to a human. Then, it hits her. The only other person who got this treatment was the masked man. This eye in the sky seems to focus its gaze. Xiao Chu just stares back, completely unfazed. This giant eye seems to recoil in shock. This spear woman sees it too. The monster god is afraid. This eye begins to waver and shed purple energy. It swirls into itself, collapsing, and with a final word, it disappears from the sky. On the ground, the giant shadow monsters begin to retreat. They crumble into dust and blow away. This entire horde of monsters turns and flees. A soldier looks out over the bloody, empty battlefield. He asks if the monsters retreated. Another soldier cheers that they are gone. This remaining soldiers celebrate on the wall. They are saved. Xiao Chu looks up at the empty sky. He thinks that this one was always a coward. He remembers his past life, how treacherous wisdom would always hide from him in the void, and how it only dared to attack after he retired and abandoned his powers. He did not think it would get scared, he muses. He knows if the monster god had just stayed calm, it would have realized he was weak enough to be killed like an ant. Man, what a bluff. A system window appears. The monster wave mission is complete. Xiao Chu stands alone on the battlefield, surrounded by dark energy. He thinks about the nature of his power. I have to suppress the horrifying thoughts of destroying and devouring everything. Someone wonders what he truly is. He now faces a group of human soldiers and officials, including Mr. Song. This silver-haired woman defends him. He is Yao Qiu, a teammate of mine and a human hunter. He is a human, not a monster. But Mr. Song accuses him of being responsible for the monster wave, citing too many coincidences. This officer agrees, declaring that Mr. Song is right. This woman argues back. Did you not see how Xiao Qiyu was battling a horde of Class 8 and 9 monsters? Just now, this officer silences her, accusing her of defending a monster. He questions her entire team's loyalty. He then declares, "I will be arresting all of you." Masked soldiers move in, surrounding Xiao Chu and his teammate. Xiao Chu just looks on. Unfazed, he points to the sky, where two flying creatures circle. This officer thinks he is showing his true colors and powers up a punch. He leaps forward to attack Xiao Chu. This officer is shocked by the power Xiao Chu still has after the battle, but suddenly, Mr. Song grabs the officer from behind. His hand glows with a sinister green energy. This officer screams as Mr. Song holds him tight. A blade slices through the air. Mr. Song impales the officer from behind with a sword. Damn, what a betrayal. Blood splatters across the ground. This officer collapses, a sword run clean through his chest. Xiao Chu watches the scene unfold, his expression calm. Xiao Chu in his monster form stands over the kneeling Mr. Song. This officer orders his men forward. What are you standing there for? Get him! But he is suddenly trapped by a swarm of dark energy birds. Xiao Chu looms over him, asking if he was running away. This officer calls him a traitor and a monster. Xiao Chu's face is half human, half monster. Well, now that you asked, I'll tell you. A blur of dark energy fills the screen. He grabs the officer by the head. I'm doing what monsters do, and in a spray of blood, the officer is gone. Damn. A pool of blood soaks into the dry earth. This silver-haired woman watches in complete horror. Suddenly, a man in a black coat lands nearby. He kneels before Xiao Chu. Squad leader, sorry, I'm late. He explains that even though he is blind, his other senses are superhuman. He looks up with reverence. Masked man, welcome back. He pledges his loyalty and that of the entire army. Xiao Chu listens silently from behind his mask. This blind man waits for a response. A massive wave of dark energy erupts from Xiao Chu. He fires a single beam of energy. It slams into the ground right in front of the man. A clear warning, elsewhere. A politician gives a victory speech to a massive crowd. He boasts about the millions of monsters that were eradicated. He honors the fallen soldiers, including Xiao Chu, before mentioning human betrayals. He puts Xiao Chu's face on the screen, branding him a traitor. Man, what a betrayal! This crowd panics, wondering how many traitors are hiding among them. This politician on stage screams for silence. He continues his speech. However, some humans are actually related to the monsters and blended themselves into our societies in hopes of destroying us. From within, he vows, we will capture all these traitors and place proper judgment on them. This crowd roars with approval, as we will not let go of any criminal. A news reporter spots something in the distance. Wait, look at that. Move your camera there. Her cameraman asks what she sees. This camera zooms in on a figure standing on a nearby rooftop. It is Xiao Chu, standing alone with his sword. This crowd below recognizes him and starts to flee in terror. Masked soldiers leap into action. Blasphemy. You dare attack Star City. One of them flies towards Xiao Chu with a blade ready. Xiao Chu just watches him come, completely calm. He blocks the strike with a single hand on his sword. He is now surrounded by an entire squad of them. In a flash, he cuts them all down. This remaining soldiers are stunned by his power. Do not falter, reinforcements will be here soon. But it is too late. Xiao Chu stands over their fallen bodies. He walks off the roof, heading towards the politician's stage. He looks down at the terrified people below. This crowd parts for him, a path opening straight to the stage. This politician starts to sweat. He recognizes this man. He remembers a time when they fought together as friends. He wonders if Xiao Chu still sees him that way. He thinks to himself, no way he would. He doesn't even consider me of any value. Man, what a complex. This politician is hailed as a hero, respected by the nation. He grins maniacally. This time, I finally have a chance to prove myself, he thinks. Yao, have the chance to beat him. He clenches his fists, determined to have his moment, but now he stands on a stage. Looking up at Xiao Chu, he sweats nervously, asking what he is waiting for. He looks tiny, standing next to a giant leg. He grips a small device. There is no time. Do it now. Yao stands tensely, while Xiao Chu is calm behind him. Xiao Chu now stands at a podium, looking down. This politician, Yao falls to his knees. He kneels before Xiao Chu on the stage, in front of everyone. Geez, that's humiliation. Xiao Chu speaks into the microphone. I am the masked man. This crowd erupts in confusion. They cannot believe the criminal is the masked man. This silver-haired woman watches the broadcast on a massive screen. She is in total shock, muttering the name. Xiao Chu continues. I've come back, but not as a special class hero. As evident, humanity never needed a hero. All you need is one thing, me. He says only he can lead them out of this abyss, and their own stupidity will be their demise. He finishes his thought. It was never I that needed you all, but you that needed me. This crowd is stunned. They remember the masked man as a humble person of few words. Xiao Chu reminds them that their fear of his power is what made them exile him. He looks down at the kneeling politician. Weakness is not a sin, arrogance is. Damn, that's cold. He announces his only goal to squeeze every resource from them to make himself stronger. And with that, he makes his declaration. From this day forth, the whole world belongs to me. This silver-haired woman finally puts it all together. He is the masked man, and that explains everything. This silver-haired woman watches, a single tear falling. Meanwhile, the crowd cheers for the masked man. Long live Master Masked Man. Hooray. They are on their knees, bowing and chanting his name, man. The irony. But Xiaoqiu just looks on, challenging the heavens. Monster gods, come at me.